OK, I was once substituted midway through a school football match because I'd fallen asleep in goal.
How did this come about? Do you like football?
I love football.
I played soccer aid with Philly last year.
And I scored.
He scored. I was going to get to that.
I once failed an acting exam after my plan to impress the teacher backfired.
Right, Lee's team.
OK.
Right, what age was this?
18.
So you're doing your A-level for drama.
Theatre studies.
Theatre studies. And what was your plan?
The plan was I needed to cry during a monologue and I was doing a Dublin accent.
Oh, give us a little blast. Oh, no, because your parents are Irish.
They're not from Dublin.
I've met her family. I met her sister. I introduced her to my wife, Tara, and I said, this is Tara.
Who's very beautiful. Ridiculously beautiful.
Yes, it doesn't seem right, does it?
I'll tell you how unright it seems. She went, oh, did you meet after he was, like, sort of a well-known comedian? And she went, no, before, which is true. We met before I ever did comedy. And she went, oh, did he save your life or something? That was unbelievable. I didn't know in 5 minutes. OK, so this was a sad monologue.
Sad monologue, and a woman, she's leaving a pram at the airport, and I needed to cry, and I needed the grade for my uni application. I needed to pass theatre studies. My plan was to use an onion to make myself cry so that I really, you know, like Oscar bait, get the exam.
Well,
really...
well, you weren't intended to do the monologue and then start cutting.
No, I had onion in my pocket with, like, an entry area so I could stick my hands in. So I touched my eyes.
Without him seeing that you'd put your hand... just sort of...
I was doing my acting. I was like, all of a sudden, life's a mad circus, and I was just touching my eyes.
That was good accent.
That was the accent, was it?
That was the accent,
Very
yeah.
good.
Thanks, Rob.
Yeah.
And so I do that, and then I touch my eyes, and then I thought, oh, actually, it's quite a bit longer to go on this bit. And obviously... So I'm not meant to be at the tears bit yet, and then obviously my eye starts going, and I'm just... like, trying to keep it together because I'm not meant to be crying yet. And then I have to get the pram to bring it off the stage. But I can't see. And I finished the monologue like that. And I have to just walk off.
Did he find out, the teacher?
Oh, yeah, she came up to me straight up and she went, onion?
What are you thinking then, Maya?
I don't know, I think dedication to the cause, but onions are that shape, aren't they? So you'd see a little bulge in whatever jacket and stuff that you had on.
I don't think she would do it. I think someone might have done it, but I don't think
You don't think it's true? OK, well, I'm going to say, then, it's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Right, Roisin, truth or lie?
It is... true.
Yes, it's true. Roisin really did use an onion to make herself cry.
OK, well, I'm still blind. Neither of my PPIs work. David, would you save us all a lot of time and read my card out for me, please?
Gladly. During lockdown, I bought a pogo stick to use as a home-school teaching aid.
Right, Lee's team.
OK, so, Chris, have you got children?
Just the one.
And this was for, what, your homeschooling PE or something?
Yes. When we did homeschooling, we split up the tasks. I was in charge of PE and maths, and my wife was in charge of reading and art for obvious reasons.
At what age is your child?
During lockdown, she was 6.
And do you do anything else for PE or just pogo stick?
I'm quite a lazy guy, Lee. So I realised that when you're on a pogo stick and you're bouncing away, what you're trying to do is see how many you can do.
How many repetitions without touching the ground?
Yeah, and maths
You have
is
to
also...
touch the ground, Lee, to be fair. Otherwise it's levitating, which we still haven't mastered.
I appreciate you said it for comic effect, Rob, but you know exactly what I meant.
Well, what I tried to do is I realised that how many is also what you do often in maths. And I could consolidate all of my teaching efforts into one tidy little package of minimal effort. So I invented Pogo maths.
OK.
And you just shout out some sums and they have to bounce out the answers.
But are they experienced in pogo sticking? Because it's quite hard.
Well, I mean, it does help if you can use a pogo stick first, so you have to get over that hurdle, but that's, you know...
You have to get over a hurdle as well.
I appreciate you said that for comic effect.
Thank you, Rob.
We have a pogo stick.
Yeah, well, it's Chris's card. Make him do it.
don't think the BBC's got enough money to cover the insurance on this.
Don't worry, I've got this covered, Chris. Like the card, let David do it for you.
There is a pogo stick behind you, I believe.
Oh, my gosh.
There it is. Don't do it there, and make sure you're 2 metres away from me.
Right.
Down you go. Now, Chris.
Hang on, let me have a practice go first.
He's not doing
This is
it,
going
Chris.
really well, Chris. Dead easy.
Are you ready?
Yes.
What is 8 minus 5?
OK. The problem I've got now is if I bounce and fall off after, say, 2, you don't know if I'm bad at pogo or bad at maths. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Well, this is good because you've got to get them all right if you want to do dinner tonight.
I've got one. So let's just see how many I can do.
Yeah, let's see how many you can do.
I'll try and jump up onto that. How about that? Don't do it, Lee, don't do it!
1,
no,
2,
I'm gonna do it.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I've got no idea what's going on.
So, having experienced it,
Yes.
do you think he's telling the truth?
What do we think?
I didn't know they still did pogo sticks.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Imagine how hard you could hit the ball with a spring-mounted snooker cue. I mean,
That's a good point.
yeah.
So, what are you thinking about this story?
The more I think about it, the more I think it wouldn't work because the white ball's going to spin back.
No. We're talking now about the maths and the pogo.
Right.
Do you reckon it's true?
I think it's true that Chris is lazy.
I'm not really blind, it just gets me out of doing things.
Listen, tell me about it, mate. I do it all the time myself. How do you think I park so close to Sainsbury's?
I think he's lying.
You think he's lying?
I think he's lying as well,
You think he's
mate,
lying? We'll go with my team and say he's lying.
OK, saying it's a lie. So, Chris, maths on the pogo stick. Was it true or was it a lie?
Pogo maths, copyright, Chris McCausland, 2020. True.
Oh! Sorry.
Yes, it's true. Chris did use a pogo stick to teach his daughter maths.
At school, because of something I once had in my lunchbox, I was given a 7-syllable nickname.
Please, team.
You strike me as the kind of kid that you would have had a 1-syllable nickname. All right, what was in the lunchbox?
A sandwich, a snack.
What was the snack?
Well, there, Lee, we
Yeah?
find 6 of our 7 syllables.
Ah, brilliant. What's your 6-syllable snack?
You can think of a 6-syllable snack, surely.
I can, yes.
The big one. The big one.
The big one.
The
Away
big-
you go.
The big packed lunch, 6-syllable snack.
I've thought of a 10-syllable one.
Right.
A salt and vinegar packet of crisps.
Well done. You're so pleased, aren't you?
That's more than you need, though.
I missed it. What was the snack?
So I'll give you the first syllable.
Mine are all too long. A packet and a half of cashew nuts. Another 10. Ridiculous.
I'll give you the first syllable if you want it.
Please do.
Dare.
Oh, it's Dairy Lee.
Triangles.
Nearly.
Dairy Lee. Go on, then. You can do the next 3.
Lunchable.
Dairy Lee Lunchable?
You remember Dairy Lee Lunchables?
I do, but I think they're after your time, no offence.
I am. How dare you? I'm 27.
Yeah, we're not talking about feet. We're talking about years.
So just be clear, the actual nickname was...
Dairy Lee Lunchable Boy.
How long did the nickname stick?
Oh, I would say, it was a good 2 weeks.
Did you have a nickname before that?
I was always called Rich. That's so bad, isn't it?
And what about after that?
Oh, then it was the artist formerly known as Dairy Lee Lunchable Boy.
Were you the tallest kid in the year?
Yeah. I would
And they
have been...
didn't think there was a tall nickname that would be more relevant for you?
When it comes to those nicknames, the decision-making process is very disordered.
Yeah.
There's no meeting where someone gets to go, this is ridiculous. This child is extremely tall, and yet we're focusing on a snack.
I'm thinking that, say you're on the playing field, you're playing football, it's a long nickname to say pass the ball, isn't it?
Dairy Lee Lunchable Boy.
That was not my nickname on the football pitch.
What was that?
What was that?
Sub.
reckon? Alice, is he telling the truth?
No nicknames only last 2 weeks. That's what's so
Yeah.
devastating about a school nickname, isn't it? They really linger.
Did you have one, Alice?
I actually did have one. Envelope bum.
We don't want to know how that came about. What are you thinking, Les?
Well, I think Richard is so good at wordplay and using syllables. It sounds like the kind of nickname he has given himself.
Lee, what are you going to say?
The tallest kid in the school has never had a nickname, because I did say before and after, but no, nothing to do with my height.
People quite liked me, Lee.
It's a lie.
No, that's a lie. No,
Richard, they're saying that it's a lie. Were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Richard wasn't given a 7-syllable nickname at school because of something he had in his lunchbox.
When I worked in a school, I locked another teacher in a cupboard to teach him a lesson.
Oh. What did you teach?
Humanities.
Humanities? I thought you were going to say humans, then. Humanities. What age were the kids? I'm checking out your teaching credentials before we get to the other bit of the story.
Yeah, all good. Secondary school kids.
Secondary school?
Yeah,
and where in the country was this?
In the West Midlands.
West Midlands, right, OK. You're a teacher, aren't you? Does all that stack up?
I'm not anymore, Lee.
You used to be a teacher, didn't you?
I'm a well-known comedian.
Are you? I genuinely thought you were a celebrity teacher, and that's why you were here. I thought you were from that thing about teaching people in Yorkshire. Is that not you? Oh.
Where did you do your teaching degree?
Never mind that. Where'd you do your comedy gigs? Why did you lock the other teacher in? Was it a cupboard?
Yeah, it was the humanities cupboard, yeah.
Why did you lock him in there?
Me and him had beef on site.
Had beef on what?
On site.
Is that a sandwich?
No. As soon as we locked eyes, I knew there was going to be an issue because he thought he was the most popular teacher amongst the kids. So I turned up at school, and within a week, I was the most popular teacher in school.
Big
he was
Ed.
Listen, I'm just saying.
What made you such a popular teacher?
I was like the Pied Piper of literacy. Kids would follow me around everywhere like, yo, sir.
That is quite a claim. Pied Piper of literacy? In the humanities department?
That's correct.
Ignore humanities. Come and read my novels, children.
Yeah, and so obviously the reputation's going around school, like, yeah, sir, taught me how to use full stops and that, he's a sick guy. So...
That is a sentence that has never been uttered by anybody under the age of 21. He taught me how to use full stops, he's a sick guy.
Yeah. How long did you lock him in a cupboard for?
Actually, here's part of the story that you need to know fundamentally. The reason why I chose him to lock him in the cupboard on that day is because I knew it would make him late for his lesson observation.
Observation?
Yes. So a lesson observation is essentially how teachers are judged on how good they are as teachers, yeah? It's not based on how you move these children on emotionally, spiritually, how you build them as human beings. It's a 15-minute window in which a waste man that can't teach themselves comes in and judges you. It's not right.
So you locked him in so he'd get into trouble on his Oh.
Yeah, I did. Should I tell you why?
Please do.
He started spreading a rumour amongst the senior leadership team that I wasn't marking my students' books.
Right. Is that bad?
I wasn't, but that's not the point. You know what I mean? Snitch! Greg, no snitching on other teachers, right?
And what was the upshot of all of this? Did you let him out? Did he escape?
Is he still there?
No, I did let him out eventually. I just wanted to ensure that he was late for that lesson observation because that means you're looked upon very harshly by the senior leadership team that he had been snitching me out to. So, you know, fair, square, squares, you know what I'm saying?
If you were capable of locking a man in this cupboard, surely a kid could have got locked in there and it would have been a health and safety disaster.
Yeah, I banged a couple of them in there as well every now and then. But
All right, what are you thinking?
I'm saying it's true.
Lucy? Do you need rebooting?
I'm going to say it's a lie.
Are you?
I just find it implausible.
Do you believe people can have beef on site?
I'm persuadable. I don't feel so strongly about it.
Well, they say it's true.
You can say it's true. OK. Guz, were you just telling us the truth or were you telling us a lie?
I was telling...
To make sure I went down as an all-time school legend, I deliberately scored a spectacular own goal in our end of term cup final.
David's team.
Okay. You just wanted to make a name for yourself?
Yeah, I wanted to, you know, be memorable, you know?
Okay.
No one really remembers the kind of average guy, but they remember that kind of, you know, the wacky guy scored an own goal.
The idiot.
And yeah, the idiot. Yeah.
So what was the reaction to you? What was that? What was
Well, first, it's like, you know, my team were like, what are you doing? Like, this is ridiculous. But, you know, afterwards, they were like, that was legendary, mate, you know?
How long after? Sort of like 5 years after?
Around 5, 10 years later. But the thing is, though, the reason why it was so spectacular is it wasn't just a normal own goal. I didn't just, you know, it was a kind of a scissor kick. Yeah. Now, you're looking at me and going, this isn't the physique of a football player.
That's absolutely right.
If you see me on, like, Soccer AM or some other shows, you'll see that I've got techers, mate. You know what they say, you know, you either, was it die a hero or live long enough to become a villain? So I was like...
Who says that?
Is that... I think I got the quote wrong. Is that the quote?
Not quite.
You know what I mean.
Let me ask you a question. What were you known for at school before that incident?
I was...
misquoting people.
I was complete, like, school clown. I actually got an award for bunking in school. I was never there. They gave me the early bird award. I used to turn up in the morning, sign in, and then go out. I did stuff like that. I was
The
zany.
teachers gave you a prize?
Yeah, at the end of, like, year 11.
Had they fully understood their role?
Looking back, I don't think they did, because I was really proud of that award.
So, well, it's, in a sense, the school is at fault if this is true, because they've established an educational environment where doing what is ostensibly the opposite of the aim of any exercise is to be rewarded.
Yeah.
So you said, no, I'm not going to do the obvious thing and score in the opponent's goal. And how many serial killers went to your school?
I quite enjoyed the vision there of Parents' Night. First Parents' Night for you two, I think that school is going to be trembling.
Yeah.
Well, you say that. If you look at that lineup there, doesn't it look as if they're just dropping their Greg off at university? Yeah, Victoria. He's not your biological son. You are David's far more beautiful, younger second wife. And you don't get on with Greg, that's coming across. So what are you going to say?
Oh, Greg, you must know more about football than we do.
I think it's true. I think he's a big enough clown to have done that.
What do you think?
I think if Greg thinks it's true, let's say true.
I think it's true.
Okay. She's trying to bond with her stepson.
Hassan, was it true or were you telling a lie?
It was a lie.
I was once dragged into the headmaster's office after I was caught leaning out of a window and firing a cream egg into my friend's mouth with a catapult.
Was this when you were a teacher or a pupil?
I'm ashamed to say it was when I was a teacher.
So, can you describe the setup?
I was teaching in a drama studio on the ground floor, and I could see my friend who was teaching economics on the second floor at the end of the building.
So it's across, is there like a courtyard in between?
Yeah, playground.
Playground, and...
You went to different schools, didn't you? Did the moat not get in the way, or was it... Right, goody, the bell's gone, let's go to the courtyard.
OK, let's... You're firing over the croquet lawn.
I'd confiscated a catapult that morning from a child.
OK.
I was in my drama studio. There's an office. I closed the door and let the children do whatever they used to do in my lessons. Sure. And I hung out of the window. I saw my friend, Gavin.
Yeah.
And I went... It was the height of summer.
Right.
So Gavin is in the middle of an economics lesson, And he goes, oh, there's my friend. Gosh, he's holding an unwrapped cream egg. And he goes...
It wasn't quite that instinctive. I waved the catapult at him, and he was baffled at first. And then I could see him distracting his children by setting them some mundane task. Then I revealed the unpeeled egg.
Which, by now, by the way, hashtag height of summer, melting. They melt very fast.
Here's the thing, Claudia. I genuinely had a mini fridge in my office because... I did, because I regularly abused the drama budget. I'm sorry, but I was very bored. I bought a mini fridge. And just to add colour, I'll tell you this, I bought a top-of-the-range DVD player and I swapped it for one that my grandmother had given me. Took a really nice one home. Separate story.
Can we say that we believe that story?
That's the story. I've got a technical question about the window.
Yeah.
Good.
Because in schools, windows only open to a very small certain point, so the kids can't jump
Especially
out.
on the second floor.
Wow, how rough was your school that you
Bad.
taught?
Really bad.
You couldn't, only in case they jumped out.
Yeah, just in case they jumped out and drowned in the moat. So basically, that window will only open to a certain point.
Yeah. The window did only open half, so Gav had to get on his knees and position his head. His head virtually filled the amount of window that was open. It was a slide-up window.
Where was the headmaster at this point? Walking through playground/courtyard?
He was in his office, I imagine, pretending to do work.
Oh.
And here is the thing that will convince you one way or the other straight away. Gavin... I would say it was 25 foot, and Gavin did catch it in his mouth.
What are they clapping?
You lot are going to feel so stupid if that's a lie.
What do you think, David's team? Does it ring true for you?
I do believe the lie is being packaged with real stuff. So, confiscation of the...
The mini fridge is true.
Yeah.
True.
The confiscation... Yeah.
Everything around the lie is true, but the lie is still a lie.
OK, let's go. Let's go.
We'll go lie.
You're saying it's a lie. Greg, was it the truth or was it a lie?
There were elements of truth, but yes. Damn you. It was a lie.
At school, I once rubbed stinging nettles all over my face and told my teacher I was ill so I could go and meet a boy in a graveyard.
David's team.
True. So this was a date in the graveyard. Was the boy living?
He was just before we met, yeah.
And these, Joe, you say these are your school days, so we're talking about the 1990s. Now, what was the... It's my way of being flattering and gentle. Chivalrous, you say. Chivalrous. When was this, Joe?
The 1890s.
That would have been the late 60s, actually, early
Late
70s.
60s?
Yeah.
Gosh, OK. So when you walked into the graveyard like this, he must have been shocked to see you.
Rob, he was pleased to see me. He knew what he was going to get.
Whoa. What was he going to get?
I bought him a cake.
So freshly nettled, you go off, you go and find your teacher. What happens then?
Well, I say to the teacher, I'm really not feeling well. I don't know whether I ate something for lunch that's given me some sort of allergic reaction. Can I go home?
I mean, I don't know. I've never run a school. But are you allowed, if a child says they're ill, you're allowed to just say, yeah, off you go?
Well, I said to her that my mum was at home and I live within walking distance of the school.
It was the late 60s, early 70s. Very different time. Children hadn't long stopped going up chimneys. So what do you think,
Oh, we
Johnny?
think it's so unfeasible, it's probably true, don't we?
Well, that's the wrong way to reason. It should be unfeasible things are less likely to be true.
Yeah, but...
Although the true things are deliberately picked to be unlikely.
Exactly.
I travelled here by car, for example, never come up. That would be easy.
Sorry, can I just check something here?
Yeah.
Why do you get a car?
Yeah, it's a class thing, you know.
They still shouldn't make me drive your car.
Right, Joe, in the graveyard with
What
the
do you
young
think?
man.
True? Because it sounds so unlikely.
Yeah.
I still think it's flawed reasoning, but we'll go true.
You're saying that it's true?
Yeah.
Right, Joe. Truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Joe didn't rub stinging nettles over her face to get out of school.
At school, I used to regularly pay my friend to clean my rubbers.
You used to pay your friends to clean your rubbers?
It was just one friend.
How dirty can a rubber get?
Nobody cleans a rubber.
Oh, they get dirty, my friend.
Do they?
Oh, yes.
What, full of what? Just lead, mainly?
Full of, yeah, lead.
Don't you rub a dirty rubber against a clean piece of paper and it sort of cleans itself?
No, what
The
you're
dirt.
describing is the action of cleaning a rubber. Yeah.
Wait,
That is how you clean a
Oh, I
rubber.
see, but you weren't
That's
even
not
willing
the
to do
same as
that.
it cleans itself. That's like saying, why do you need to clean a car? You just wipe it all over and it cleans itself.
10 years.
what is your...
10 years of this kind of
What?
bullying.
What was your friend's name?
Edis.
What?
Edis?
What?
Edis, it's a Turkish name.
How old were you?
Like, it's primary school, so probably like 10.
So 10 years old. And why couldn't you have just done that action of just rubbing it against a blank piece of paper to just...
Well, he did it as, like, a service to everyone.
How much did you pay him?
Like £1 a rubber.
A pound of rubber?
Yeah.
Why couldn't you have done it yourself? I'm confused.
Because it used to have, like, a nice smell when you had it back.
Are you sure it wasn't Edis?
Whoa, where was this magical smell coming from?
Well, that's the thing. We didn't know until we got
Did
older.
you never... See, if I was giving a man a rubber and he went away and he came back and I went, that smells differently, I would say, why does it smell differently? I would just leave it at that and go, that's different. Yeah, here's a pound.
He just said he found out years later.
He was using, like, car air freshener to spray it.
Oh,
it was a great service, so if, like, you were cool if you had a fresh rubber.
But how much would a new rubber have cost?
Probably about 10p.
How many times did you pay him a pound to clean your rubber?
Like, probably happened, like, once every 2 months or something like
What? So, and this went on for how long?
For ages, like, for
I'll
years.
treat myself.
And he was doing it... He was
I'm
making
gonna get it nice. I'm gonna get the rubber nicely cleaned and scented. For the weekend.
Did Edis clean any other stationary items?
Not that I can remember, but he used to do something else with stationery, but I can't remember what that was.
He didn't sharpen your pencils in a very interesting way, did he?
It was something like he would organise your pencil case, but I can't remember.
Organise your... I'm picturing Edis with a little suit and a briefcase. Hello, guys. How you doing? It's me again. It's Edis. I'm here to clean your rubbers or organise your... And you're going like during the corner going, oh, hang on, girls, I was chatting you up, but I want to sort out my pencil case. Just wait. Tell me some more, Edis.
That's exactly where the economy's going, isn't it? Nobody makes things anymore. We just provide pointless services. I'm a party planner. I'm a pencil case organiser. I shout on panel shows. We used to make steel.
What's it gonna be?
Look, the thing is, during my one, which was true, I started thinking it was a lie. So I haven't got a clue anymore. I actually kind of think it sounds true, but then for that reason, I want to say it's a lie.
You've been a big help. Thank you. Gabby.
My gut's saying true. What's your gut saying?
Go on, let's go true.
You're going to say true? Melvin.
It is.
Was it true or was it a lie?
It is true.
When I broke my neck at school,
All I was given was an aspirin.
David's team.
What happened? How did you break your neck?
Don't worry, we can lose that pause in the edit.
Yeah. As a young man, I was in the gym team.
Right.
At school. We were doing a display for whatever you do, Founders Day, something like that. I had to do a somersault over a box. A box? A horse.
Yeah. A horse box. One of the things.
Wasn't that big?
Yeah, right.
Vault. Yes. So I jumped over one of those and was supposed to do a somersault. But I did 1.5.
And landed on your head.
He's very clever, isn't he?
So what happened then, Aid? You came crashing to the floor.
There was a very loud noise.
Your neck breaking made a noise?
Yes. Why wouldn't a neck breaking make a lot of noise?
That's a good point.
Wouldn't you scream anyway? I mean...
But the noise would precede the scream.
But on the way down, on the way to hitting your neck, presumably you'd be shouting out something like, ah!
No, because actually there's sometimes a delay before the pain actually arrives.
Yeah, but there still might be alarm as you see the chances of you saving yourself from a neck
he's in
break.
there, doesn't
It's
know...
like people in an aeroplane that's crashing, they're probably screaming, and you don't go, well, you're fine at the moment.
Yes.
So you've hit the ground, you fall to the floor. What happens then?
I was in a great deal of pain.
Was there a gym teacher present?
There was. He was Scottish.
Yeah.
Jock Watt, his name was.
No.
That was his...
You had a teacher called Jock Watt. So what did Watt do?
One of the first things he did was he put out his cigarette. No.
On the head of a nearby child.
Yes. Watt was there...
Where?
Because in the display...
What was in the display?
What?
Part of it.
We're quite small schoolboys. So there's a kind of teacher to catch you.
Oh,
or half catch you. Half catch.
So somebody dropped you?
You bounce over the thing and you sort of...
Is that after he dropped you? Is that when he went...
I was carried off the field of display.
By what?
By... and taken to the sick bay, where I was given an aspirin.
So where was Watt now?
I wish his name wasn't Watt.
Why?
So was it evident to you from the start that you'd broken your neck?
No. I suffered a great deal of pain for very many years and didn't really find out about the crushed vertebrae until...
Yesterday.
Until a few years after.
So what are you thinking? Are you thinking that it could be true?
Well, the thing is, I've been observing him, as I do, and he doesn't have full movement of his neck. Look at that.
How long have you been observing him for, Claude?
You see?
What do you think?
I reckon it's true now because of the whole neck thing.
Do you think it's true because of inhibited neck movement?
I do indeed.
We're going to say it's true.
Aid Edmondson, was it true or was it a lie?
It's... true.
Yeah.
Yes, it's true. Aid was given an aspirin for a broken neck. So please welcome this week's special guest, Edward. So, Robert, what is Edward to you?
This is Edward, and I had such a crush on him at school that for the past 20 years, his name has been the basis for all of my passwords.
So, Denise, what is Ed to you?
This is Edward, and he helped me pick up my car and move it after I got blocked in by Daley Thompson.
And finally, Lee, what is your relationship with Edward?
This is Edward. I once dressed up as his wife so that his son would think that he'd seen his mum in the audience at the school play.
So, there we have it. Is Edward Robert's childhood crush, Denise's car carrier, or Lee's hoax husband? David's team, where to begin?
Robert. So were you school buddies together?
Not especially because Edward was terribly good at sport, you see. I seem to remember Edward being terribly good at the pole vault.
How are you still in touch with Edward?
We're not. I haven't seen Edward for a number of years.
How is he doing, do you think? Would you still?
Can I just say that as my fake husband, I have.
I'd say he's definitely moved into a new bracket. But a very happy one.
Yeah.
Yes, he's doing very well, I'd say. You know, very, very well indeed.
Now, you said you haven't seen him for a number of years.
No, a number of years.
Specifically, when was the last time you saw him?
The last time I would have seen him would probably be 1993 or 94.
1993 or 4?
But there wasn't the need for passwords until around the year 2000.
Well, yes, but they then came in, and I thought, what would be more marvellous than having Edward as the basis of my passwords?
Is he still the basis of your passwords?
No comment. What I will say is that I spent a long time when I was bored looking for him on Facebook and that sort of thing. And on one occasion, I found him and messaged him, and there was no reply. And I was very
that's
upset
horrible.
about that. And I always wondered what happened to him. And now I see.
I'm struggling with this because this is a thing that is done. I had a crush on a boy in school, and his name is the basis for my passwords as well. And I've been trying to stalk him on Facebook, but he doesn't exist. He's not on Facebook, which makes him even sexier. But I'm saying this is...
So you've got that exact story?
Very plausible. Yeah, this is my story. His name's Luke Mate. Do you know him?
Yes.
You know
Luke?
No, you
Mate?
don't. Because he was
he
like...
lives 2 doors down from me. Single, newly single.
No.
Yeah. He works for Médecins Sans Frontières. He's a human rights lawyer, but works with them. But he takes 6 months of the year off because he runs a place for distressed puppies. He's a good guy. You know what? I literally just set him up with someone last week. That's so annoying. That's a great thing. Great guy. Hell of a guy.
All right. Who would you like to...
It's very plausible.
Who would you like to quiz next?
Denise, explain what happened with Edward in the car and Daley Thompson.
Yes, so I was parked in the car park at a stadium.
Which stadium?
Birmingham, Alexander Stadium in Birmingham. And
Which car park? So, like, you had
just
to...
VIP.
OK.
It's probably the Denise Lewis car park.
I mean, to be fair, if you own a car in Birmingham, you're automatically a VIP anyway.
Why are you clapping? So I'm in the car park, went off to work, had a big national championships, came back out, desperate to get back down to London, and my car was blocked in.
That was Daley Thompson?
That was Daley Thompson.
Yeah. Well, hang on. How do we know that? Let's take it straight. What happens next?
Well, Eddie, he's an official.
Right.
You know, he used to be an athlete. You can see he's well stacked.
What was his sport?
He was actually a thrower.
Of what?
Discus.
Sorry,
Discus.
are you actually... You're a BBC commentator and you called him a thrower?
A thrower. So he's a thrower of the incredibly heavy frisbee.
Yeah, he used to compete national level.
OK.
Didn't quite make it.
Yeah.
Didn't quite make it. It's not easy to get to the top.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
That's such a show-off thing to do.
I'm sorry.
I'm
just
actually
saying.
really, really hard to be an amazingly good athlete. Some people can do it, some people can't do it. Eddie, I'm sorry.
So there you are, Denise. You're blocked in. Eddie Edward is there because he's an official. He used to throw things. When does Daley come into it?
Well, his has a private registration plate, and I didn't notice
He's one
that.
of those people,
Yes.
daily... What does it say?
DT10.
DT10, of course.
DT10.
Of course.
Clever.
I said to Eddie, I need to get out of here quickly.
Yes.
Can you help?
Yes.
He said, let me go and get some of these other throwers. They said, listen, if we manoeuvre this car, swing the back out a little bit, you should be able to manoeuvre around Daly's car.
So you never met... I'm sure you have met Daley Thompson, but he never turned up during the anecdote.
Couldn't find him anywhere. But it's only when I came back to the car did I realise it was his car because of the number plate.
But you were looking for him before that? The person I need to talk to now is Daley Thompson, because if there's someone who understands a parking crisis, it's him.
Can I just check, have you two met? Because you need a really good defence lawyer.
No, I do. Can you continue?
Yes, please do.
So Eddie came to my aid
Yeah,
and helped me manoeuvre the car,
yeah.
and away I went.
Where you went, and Daley Thompson turned up presumably later.
I don't know, because I didn't see him.
You didn't see him.
Have you seen him since?
Yeah.
Yes.
And have you mentioned this story to him?
Yes.
And, OK, that checks out.
What did he say?
You can do. Yeah, that's
What did he say?
Yeah.
Oh, shut up.
He said, oh, shut up.
Listen, I've known Daley a long time. One of the first things he said to me at the age of 14...
Yeah.
He called me...
Look after this bear.
All right, now, of course, perhaps the most plausible of all is yet to... just remind us, Lee.
This is Edward. I once dressed as his wife, so his son would think he'd seen his mum...
Right.
...whilst performing in the school play.
What was the play?
It was actually a nativity play.
OK, and what was Edward's son playing?
Edward's son was playing Joseph.
Were your children in the play?
My children were not in the play. It would have been inappropriate due to the fact that they don't go to that school.
So you went to a school where your children are not enrolled, dressed as a woman.
Correct.
To trick a little boy into thinking you were his mum.
Yeah. When you say it like that, it does sound a bit dodgy.
Let's go back, Lee. Let's go back to the beginning. How did this come about? How did Edward approach you?
So Edward was at the school, and apparently he got a phone call off his wife saying that she couldn't make it. Now his wife had already missed 3 or 4 big events. You know, all the big ones that are important, like the sports days and the various things. And this was sort of like, I promise you, I'm going to be there. I promise you, I'll do this one. So
why wasn't she there?
Well, something to do with work, something got
What's her work?
I didn't get a chance to get into too many details. Edward rang in a panic. Absolutely panicking he was.
What's her job?
What's the wife's job?
Yes.
I actually don't know his wife very well.
But
do you know him?
Well,
I know Edward, yeah.
You're the first person he'd call, though, but you don't know his...
That's right, because me and him do lots of things behind his wife's back, and he knows that...
So he rang you up?
Yeah.
And what did he say?
He was panicking. They went, Lee! I went, what? He said, she's not turned up again. I said, who? He said, my wife. I said, what does she do for a living? He said, not now. He said, I need your help and I need it quickly.
Yeah.
I said, you know me, I'll always be there for you. He says, I need you to meet me at my house. So I get to the house,
get there.
I run in the house, and he only had time for one phrase. Put this on. He said, I need you to dress as my wife, because last time I went to see him in a play, she didn't turn up. And I said, but you saw me, right? And he said, the kid said, no, I didn't see you, because the spotlights are so bright. Everyone's just like a silhouette. So, he said, that's how I think you can get away with this. I want you to dress as my wife, and then when he looks out, he'll think that you're with me.
Did he notice your beard?
Well, this is the thing. I said that. Now, as luck would have it, I don't know what his wife does, but she has a beard. I know she works in a circus. I don't know exactly what she does.
That was very well dodged, Lee, I must say.
No, she at the time, I did not have a beard.
Oh, you were clean-shaven?
Yes,
Yeah.
which is why he was annoyed, because, like I say, she does.
Did you...
Does she have a very distinctive silhouette?
She does. I would describe her silhouette as Lee Mack-esque. It's the only way I could describe her.
Did you have to wear a wig?
No, I didn't wear a wig, because luckily his wife has very short hair.
And a beard.
And a beard.
Where are we? Well, so you just went with your head
Just went with...
shaven.
I just went with her silhouette look. With a hat, scarf,
But what did you wear? But you haven't told us...
Nice one, Jesus!
You haven't told us what you put on in your friend's bedroom.
He had all the things were about...
What, he got a range for you to choose from? Pick out something nice that you fancy.
He had it ready for me when I got there. He said, "This is what we could get. This is the stuff that the kid would recognise." So we went with a long Macintosh.
What's Edward's son called?
Edward's son is called Eddie.
That was a bad choice.
Yeah, well, Little Ed.
And then after the play, that lovely bit where the kids excitedly go and meet with their parents again and say, "How was it?"
That was the bit that we were worried about. Well, I had to do... there was only one thing that we could do. I said to him, "You're going to have to totally commit to this." And so we're now married. We adopted him and we ran away, and the wife doesn't know where we are, and this is the first time she would have known about it. No, we stood at the back, and as he walked towards us, I sort of turned around, walked quickly, and sort of waved like that. And he said,
ran away from him?
Yes. What choice did I have? And apparently, Big Ed said to me afterwards, he said, "I just had to say, oh, Mummy's got to get back quickly. She's well, I don't know what she does for a living." He didn't know either.
All right, we need an answer. So, David's team. Is Edward Robert's childhood crush, Denise's car carrier, or Lee's hoax husband?
Well, it's...
Well, I mean, Lee was fairly convincing. Hard to see past that, isn't it?
What do you think?
I feel like when Denise was telling her story, Edward was smiling a little bit more. Look at him. Look at his... See?
Gosh, it's difficult, isn't it? I'm tempted to say Robert.
You think Robert? And
I'm really torn. I would say Denise, but I just don't know, because I was wrong once already.
OK, time to make a decision, David. Who's it going to be?
Oh, right. So you think it's Denise now? If you two think it's Denise, that's great. I can opt out. If you both think it's Robert, that's great. I can opt out. If you both think it's Lee, I'm overruling you. We'll go Robert.
You're going to say it's Robert. If this does turn out to be true, you do realise we're about to witness quite a moment. So, Edward, would you please reveal your true identity?
I am Edward, and I was Robert's inspiration for a password.
Would you like to say anything to Edward, Robert?
I could dress up as you and fill in. I'm betrayed.
What would you like to say to him? Here's your chance.
Yes, yeah. Hello, Edward.
Hi.
Well done, you really kept it together.
Edward, did you realise that Robert had this crush on you?
No, not at all.
Oh,
you must have done.
What a lovely evening this is for you, then. Thank you very much, Edward.
Very nice to see you.
So please welcome this week's special guests, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna. So, Kate, first of all, what are they to you?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and they let me sleep in their tent in Glastonbury when I couldn't find mine.
OK. Josh, how do you know them?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and together we made up my entire school year.
Right. David, what is your connection?
This is Jenna, Thomas and Joanna, and I nudged them into a canal when I lost control of my Boris bike.
So, there we have it. Are they Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums, or David's bike buddies? Lee's team.
Josh, when you say between the four of you, you made up your school year, do you mean it didn't exist?
My entire year was us four.
So I'm looking at faces now to see if they look an equal age. Now, Well, yeah, I suppose they... Do you think they look at equal age?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Yeah?
Yes, that's convincing.
OK, that bit of the story we believe.
Yes.
They look a lot younger than Josh, it has to be said.
Well,
Well, you know, they're probably doing 3 to 4 press-ups a day.
What's,
Between them, or in...
What year was this?
1987 to 1994. I'd have been 4 to 11.
Where was it? Where were you at school?
Devon.
Where in Devon?
On Dartmoor.
How many kids were in the other years?
Oh, well, ours was the smallest.
You don't say?
Yeah. So the one below was 6.
Right.
I think it actually started to get bigger because the school got more popular, so by the time I was leaving, you were looking at 8s or 9s.
Right.
It's ridiculous. How does a child get any attention with that sort of class size?
Have you stayed in contact with them?
I haven't stayed in contact with Jenna and Joanna.
Why?
Why?
Hang on, let's test him on this. Which one is Thomas?
Thomas is in the middle. And I've seen him a couple of times because his brother's married to my sister.
Really?
Yeah. And they talk about the Welsh, don't they? If this is the size of your year, what happened when you got to the nativity play or the summer concert? How
the
did
summer
you...
concert?
Or the garden party, or the...
Yeah. When you troop the colour, how did you do that?
Well, it wasn't just a class of 4. We were taught 4 years together.
Oh, so 4 4s, 12.
16.
16. 16. And that's the benefit of the smaller class size, isn't it?
Is it still as small?
Well, I don't still go.
No, but you must know. You must know.
It would be frowned upon if I hung outside counting the children.
I'm interested to know what the system was at lunchtime. Was it packed lunches, or did they provide something hot?
Obviously, because there was only, 40 children in our school, there was no need to cook school dinners on site.
So what, you went to a restaurant? What are you talking about?
So we went to Wagamama's. No, So what would happen, because obviously most of us were packed, so there's...
You've got a very high opinion of yourself.
So what would happen would be, when you were answering the register, you wouldn't say here, instead you'd say packed or dinners. And then one of the children would tally up the amount of people that say dinners, and then they'd go and phone it through to the nearest school. Who would...
The nearest school is where you are.
No, to the next school, who would then cook us the 8 dinners and get them sent across.
You were having supply dinners, essentially, weren't you?
Yeah, we had a kind of Meals on Wheels deal with our dinners.
Wow. All right, who would you like to quiz next?
David.
Dave.
Where were you cycling on your Boris bike?
The Regent's Canal in London. Sort of from where I live towards... eastwards, towards King's Cross.
Eastwards? Where were you going? Mordor? I was travelling eastwards.
Eastwards, yes, easterly. In an easterly direction.
I'm off out. Where are you going? I'm going eastwards. I'll see you later. When you're back, I don't know, it depends what the westerly wind's like on the way back. Have you got a bay of Boris bikes near you?
Not that near me. I was hurrying somewhere and I was late.
Where were you going?
To a meeting.
Were you wearing a helmet?
I was not.
Right, so you were going to a meeting, you're in a rush. How do you manage to knock 3 people in?
It's ridiculous,
Was it like, were they stood dressed as dominoes?
No, they were sort of sitting on the edge of the canal. I was... Right, I'm not an experienced cyclist. I'd only got the Boris bike because I was running so late.
Did you knock them in the river and you thought, let's swap numbers and keep in touch?
That's exactly it.
Yes.
I thought that.
So just talk us through it in a bit more detail. Did you knock them off with your body? Did you knock them off with the bike?
I'm cycling along the towpath. I'm late.
You're late.
My phone rings. It's the people at the meeting, and I'm afraid I answer my phone on the towpath.
Without a helmet?
Helmetless. You don't expect me to put a helmet on to answer my phone.
And when they went in, what did you then do?
Well, they were out again as soon as they were in. It wasn't a very deep bit of the canal. The deeper water is further out. That's actually the title of my collection of poems.
David?
Yeah?
If I was cycling at speed and I hit 3 people, I think I'd go over myself. I think the momentum would take me off my bike.
Well, what can I tell you? It doesn't happen.
What about Kate. Do you have any questions, Brian, for Kate?
Yes.
What did Kate say?
She couldn't find her tent at Glastonbury, so these three reprobates, let's call them, offered for her to sleep in their tent.
They're my knights in shining armour. They rescued me.
Do you know that I've just done the voiceover for all the loos at Glastonbury?
Oh.
For the loos?
What do you say? What is the voiceover?
Are you enjoying your loo? Some people don't have any loo at all. And all over the world, they don't have a loo. And you're privileged to have a loo. I've just done a whole government thing for it. I thought possibly you might have sat on one of these loos.
I'm envisioning the thought of going into a loo and suddenly you popping into my ear.
Can I just, at this point, Kevin, I know for a fact, can do a very, very good Brian Blessed impersonation.
I know I wouldn't absolutely. Are you sitting down? Are you sitting comfortably?
Oh, great, now I've got it in stereo. First of all, when was this?
This was Glastonbury 2011. My boyfriend bought tickets for him and his brother, and then I heard that Beyoncé was going to be there. So I said I'll come too, so I could see the goddess.
OK,
in person.
So you've lost your tent.
So 1 o'clock in the morning, I needed to go to the loo, so I set off in search of the loos with my phone.
And because you'd gone to see Beyoncé, when you couldn't find your tent, there's a joke coming up. Did you go, uh-oh, 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 uh-oh?
Rob.
No.
He told us about some joke that was on its way. So you come back and you can't find your tent.
Well, I had a bit of a loo mission because the first set of loos were not clean, and so I had to try and find some more. So I went. Someone said there's some more over there, and there were people, sort of, you know, making new friends there. So I didn't want to stay there. This poor woman who was taking pity on me said, there's some other over there. So I went to the other ones.
This is like a quest.
Yes.
First set of loos too dirty. Second set of loos too sexually compromised. Set
This
of
is
loos
the
number
voiceover
3.
you want in the toilet, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, this is for defecation, not sexual compromise.
Yes, I have the precise timbre to reverse arousal.
So you're crawling through the grass at Glastonbury.
Found the third set. That was all fine. And then I thought, OK, I'm going to walk back now. But I just couldn't find my way.
How did they come about?
Well, I was wandering around, and then I thought, I just thought, I'm going to have to throw myself on someone's mercy. So I
thought you said tent then. I thought that's no way of doing it. Surely just knock on the flap first. That's the voice you need in the toilet.
I just saw these 3 friendly people, and I thought maybe I'll just approach them because I was getting desperate. So I said, look, I'm completely lost. And they said, we'll help you. We'll help you find these first set of loos, because if I found the first set, then I can find my tent.
I see.
So they said, look, we could be going all night, this is really useless, let's just go and sleep in our tent.
What's the setup with Thomas, Jenna and Joanna?
Well, this is a good point, Mob, because I did have that question.
Good point.
Unlike the postman. Good point.
I know. I got it. I was wondering when the joke was coming.
Well, that's the problem with postal jokes. It's always the next day when you get it.
All right, we need an answer. So, Lee's team. Are Jenna, Thomas and Joanna Kate's festival friends, Josh's school chums or David's bike buddies?
Think there's any truth in David's story?
Oh, no, not at all. No, not at all. Their escapade sounds like Toad of Toad Hall, with the bike, going to the Boris bike, going down the canal. Regent's Canal, of course, that's near the zoo there, where you get lots of orangutans.
At the very least, it's unlikely.
Oh, it's definitely unlikely. I mean, it's worthy of anecdote. I mean, no one's going to come and say, these are, 3 people I said hello to in the post office. There's got to be an unlikeliness to it, or it's not worth televising. This is potentially worth televising.
I think it's Josh.
Brian thinks it's Josh.
Yeah.
Kevin?
I also think it's Josh.
Is it the ages? Because they do look very similar age. I have to say, Tom in the middle of the 3 looks like he's had a slightly harder life. I'm going to go with Josh.
You're going to say it's Josh. OK. On behalf of the three, Joanna, would you reveal your true identities?
We are Joanna, Thomas and Jenna, and together we make up the entire year of Josh's school.
And here's the proof. We've got the school photo. Have a look. Thank you very much, Jenna, Thomas and Joanna.
One Friday after school, I swapped our family cat for a Scotch egg and a Smurf. When my mum found out on Monday morning, she made me swap them back.
Right. Well, when was this, first of all? How old were you?
13.
But more important than how old was he or anything to do with him, the cat. What? I mean, seriously, we're very concerned about the cat. I am.
I'm a bit more concerned about the Smurf, if I'm going to be honest.
I'm most concerned, the Scotch egg, what was your logic? Would you hide it under your bed for a whole weekend?
Why don't you three have a little chat, and when you worked out collectively what you're most concerned about, come back to me.
Can I start?
Please do.
Okay.
Please do.
What
Okay.
was the cat called? What kind of cat? What colour, please?
The cat was called Snowdrop, and as the name implies, it was tortoiseshell.
Who did you swap with?
Should I name him?
I don't know, unless he's in prison at the moment and he's...
I don't know, I haven't seen him for a long time. It was a kid who lived on an estate nearby.
Just give us his first name.
Lee.
Just with the Scotch egg, you wanted the Scotch egg. You wanted the Scotch egg so badly that you traded a living mammal for it, and then you just put it under your bed for 48 hours.
To be fair, trading a Scotch egg for a living mammal is exactly what's necessary in the manufacture process of a Scotch egg. You start off... People have decided they have live pigs, but they don't like the live pigs enough. What they want is no pigs, but Scotch eggs.
Right. Why did you want the Scotch egg? I presume for the obvious that you like them and you wanted to eat it.
Yes.
Why didn't you just eat it there and then?
Why didn't I just eat...
You said you swapped them back again on the Monday.
So why
that suggests you still had the Scotch
well, hang
egg
on. I
the
mean, was
Monday.
it the same one, or had you consumed it and then you just had to give a Scotch egg back?
That's right, Rob.
It's like the bloody Welsh Mafia, this. You can't help him out.
Could I get back to the cat? Cats obviously are very territorial, so would the cat not try and come home? Because they normally do if they've gone out away.
He didn't. Not that weekend.
Talk us through the actual exchange process.
I tell you what, Rob, you stand up. We'll go through it. Come on,
I am standing up.
I'll role play it with you. Right. OK, so imagine I've got my family cat in my hand.
All right.
And you in with this hand, you have a Scotch egg.
Where are we now, Rod? Where are we? We're in Wales. Are we in Wales?
We're in Wales.
Oh.
We're in Wales.
Isn't that nice? Let's just take a minute. Let's just take a minute. It's lovely. Go on.
Right. So we're in Wales.
Yeah.
I've got a cat in my hand.
All right.
Right. You've got in this hand a Smurf and a Scotch egg.
Yes.
Right, now we swap them over.
All right, here we go.
Right,
this is how it happens.
This is going to be difficult.
And that, my lord, is the mechanics of the exchange.
Wow. You can put the cat down now.
But gently, Rob, gently, yes.
So what do you think, Lee? Does this sound truthful to you?
I don't think he's shown any affection for Snowdrop, and on that basis alone, I think it can't be true.
Well, weirdly, the exact same reason, I think it is true, because I know him to be heartless.
I can show you some affection. What do you want to know about Snowdrop? I can show affection with Snowdrop.
All right, how would you stroke him?
Her.
Nah, got ya. That, you have changed the sex of that cat at least 3 times.
I promise you, even
You have!
I don't think vets should agree to do that.
It's always been a female cat, Snowdrop.
What are you thinking, Rob? Are you thinking it's the truth?
It's really starting to crumble at the end here, so I'm smelling a lie.
Both saying a lie. My team say lie. We will go with lie.
OK, you're saying lie. Rod, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Rod didn't swap his family cat for a Scotch egg and a Smurf.
When I was a teacher, whilst trying to explain a tricky concept, I accidentally locked a pupil in a cupboard.
David's team.
OK. What was the concept? Was it the concept of imprisonment?
It was a maths lesson. I was teaching the topic of probability and chance.
That's the chances of getting locked in the cupboard.
Well, that became an extra learning objective. That wasn't the main one. I was trying to get across the idea of
Narnia.
Yeah. I was trying to get them to understand how to explain the concept of probability. So the idea was that if you had, like, an alien arrive on Earth, how would you explain probability?
Which would be the first thing you'd do, wouldn't it?
Yeah. No, actually,
Put the laser down, let me talk to you about maths.
Yeah.
Ramesh, what age group was this?
So this is year 8, so 11, 12 years old.
So...
what happened is I needed somebody to pretend to be an alien.
OK.
So I selected a child from the class. I didn't just go out and look for one.
How did you select? Did you go for the little green one with the pointy ears?
Well, no, actually, what it was is I thought I was doing a good thing because, you know, you get some kids that are sort of... that have problems making friendships and stuff like that. And I had a kid like that in the class, so I thought I'd bring him out of himself.
You chose the kid that got bullied to be the alien. So that the rest of the class can point at him and go, alien.
I mean, to be fair, I thought we were just playing a game. I didn't realise it's an Ofsted inspection. So basically what it was, I was trying to make it realistic.
OK.
So I said to him, why don't we pretend this cupboard is like a transformation chamber? You know, you go in the cupboard, you go in as a boy.
Oh, it's just getting worse, isn't it? One of my kids came home from school and described this scene. I'd be down that school like a shot.
How surprised would you then be to see that teacher on the BBC a few years later?
In the current climate, not surprised at all.
Basically, I said to him, you're going to go into the cupboard, you're going to transform into an alien.
What was the concept again you was trying to teach the kid?
Probability.
Probability?
Yeah.
We haven't got to that bit yet. We're going to find out when he steps out.
Oh, right now we're trying to find out how to transform to an alien right now.
That's what we're looking forward to. We're looking forward to him coming out. We never get that far, do we? What am I talking about?
At the next Ofsted inspection, a small skeleton was discovered.
And they said, what are the chances of that? And they said, well, interesting, you should ask that. What were you going to do, though? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
If he hadn't got locked in, what were you going to do?
The idea was that he was going to come out and be the alien, and then I was going to get different kids to...
different kids to... Don't lose confidence.
So, I was going to get different kids to explain to him what probability was. So he was going to be like the dummy alien, and then he'd be like... Boo, boo, boo. And then...
Never to be bullied again.
No, I can't help feeling that I'm a little bit under attack here.
It's all right, because you may be lying, in which case you're off the hook. Why does it help to understand probability, to get children to explain it to an alien?
So basically, in order to get the idea that a kid understands a concept, them explaining it and that explanation being clear illustrates that they have learnt it completely.
So Ramesh, you've sort of left it at he's in the cupboard. He got in.
Yeah.
What happened?
I realised I couldn't open the door to let him out. So I sort of started looking around for other teachers to help me. And they said, actually, the cupboard, it can be opened from the inside. The problem came when I said to him, you're going to have to come out the cupboard, just open it from the inside. And he replied... because he was being an alien.
Right.
So that extended the problem. And he was in there for 20 minutes.
So he came out in the end, he eventually opened it, he came out and...
Well, the lesson was ruined.
What are you thinking, David?
I do know that Ramesh used to be a maths teacher.
Oh, OK.
Right.
So, and that, you know, education's loss was show business's gain. There were so many gaps in the story, I just...
Yeah, the story wasn't really adding up, right?
Yeah.
For a maths teacher,
I like
really.
I think we think it's a lie, do we?
I think it might be.
It's a lie for all of you. OK. Romesh, truth or lie?
The story is true.
It's true. Romesh did accidentally lock one of his pupils in a cupboard.
I once caused an injury to one man whilst trying to get a different man to say the word vegetables.
Please, team.
Right, just the word vegetables.
Yeah.
Do you really like the word vegetables?
Not as a general rule, no,
Okay.
but I liked it when this man said it.
Why? What was it about this man, the way he said vegetables, that was funny?
Did he have a speech impediment? Or...
No, he didn't. He was a very intense man, though, and he was also Austrian. I was with a friend once, and he was a colleague of ours, sorry, and I overheard him say vegetables, and we both found it incredibly funny.
So, can you just roughly give us an impression of how he used to say vegetables? Even just roughly?
He said it exactly like this. Yeah. Vegetables. And then we happened to be on a coach trip with him, and so we spent the whole coach trip trying to get him to say vegetables
Right, so
again.
where were you? Where were you going and how did you know
I was
him?
on a school trip. I used to be a teacher, so we were
And
on
he was a teacher?
Yeah, he was a teacher.
What did he teach?
He was the head of languages, and he was...
Head of languages? The head of languages used to go,
vegetables.
Imagine I'm the man. OK, I'm on the coach, I'm sat, we're driving. Off you go.
So I said,
Yeah? You're very big, aren't you?
This isn't like him at all.
You're very big, aren't you? That's it.
So I was saying things like, oh, I've been trying to keep fit lately, and I know that you're into keep fit. You know, would you recommend for a healthy diet? And he was going, well, you know, I would... you must eat a balanced diet, you must eat greens, and you must enjoy some protein in limited... I was going, yeah, but I mean, if you were to group some of those foods together... And he was going, well, I mean, yeah, you must have carbohydrates, of course, and you must have... And it was horrific. It went on for about an hour. And every time I tried to find a new angle for vegetables, his ludicrous Austrian interpretation of things led us down a dark alley. It was literally an hour in the making.
And how did you finally get him to say it?
I honestly can't remember. It came out of nowhere, and he suddenly said it, and he said it with such passion. It was... He went, oh, well, of course you must have vegetables! I started biting my hand to stop myself from laughing. And my friend who was next to me, there's a jagged piece of metal at the front of the coach, and because it was so funny, just to remind you, vegetables, of course! And my friend saw the piece of metal and pushed his knee into it on purpose to stop himself from laughing. And blood started, like, spraying out of his... Started spraying out of his knee, yeah.
Oh, this is getting elaborate, this story.
And I'll tell you another detail. We went and did the trip, which was in Paris, and then after we came all the way back... all the way back to Calais, and I said to him, you know, we put all the kids' passports in that hotel in Paris last night. Did you remember to... Because he was in charge of the trip. Did you remember to bring those? And he was standing up in front of the children on the coach, and he went, oh, Scheiße! And we had to speak to the port authorities and get permission to take the kids on without passports while he went back on his own. Can I tell you one more detail as well? We were also standing in the middle of Paris under the Eiffel Tower. We'd been there for an hour and the kids were all running around. And he came over and went, we must go, we are late for our next appointment. And I said, well, we should just make sure that all the kids are here. And he goes, yes, of course we should, yes. And he turned round and went, is everybody here? And all the kids went, yeah. And he went, well, then we will move on. The vegetables!
What are you thinking, Lee?
I think it's true.
True from John.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
I think lie. You are a fantastic actor, Mr. Greg Davis.
Well, so what are you going to say?
OK, what do we think, Alex?
I think you'll find I'm BAFTA nominated.
We're all BAFTA nominated.
False. OK, we'll go lie.
I'm going to say it's a lie. Greg.
Well,
truth or lie?
It is the truth.
After a visit to a school fete, I had to tell my neighbour their cat had been run over, while my own face was painted like a kitten.
Lee's team.
Oh, please be true. Please. You were at the school fete as what? As a dad, or were you working on the stall doing the face painting or anything? Or were you
there was a sort of shift, so I did help with one of the stalls, but I was also there just as a parent.
What was the stall you were helping on?
Bric-a-brac.
Bric-a-brac?
Bric-a-brac.
How did you find out the cat had been killed?
Because it was killed regrettably close to our house.
What kind of cat was it?
A tabby cat.
And how was it killed, sorry?
Unfortunately, it was a truck that shouldn't have been... it was one of the very... not just a normal-sized lorry, a very, very long lorry that should not really have thought that it could drive around those streets, but was attempting to, and it flattened...
So you actually saw the lorry flatten the cat, and then you had to go and tell the neighbour?
Yeah.
I feel like this is the truth, except for the part about the truck, and that actually you killed this cat.
What was the cat called?
She was called... she's called Jenny.
Jenny the cat. Jenny.
What was the owner called? Tiddles? In a horrible name mix-up, they started calling each other by the wrong name.
If you want to find fault with someone's cat naming logic, you've got to have a go at my neighbours.
Well, they're grieving. Let's leave them out of it.
Yeah.
Did you
kill their cat?
I didn't.
You say you didn't kill the cat. You might have been partly responsible because you were there dressed as a cat when it happened. It might have been the driver of the truck.
I wasn't dressed as a cat.
Has looked over and gone, size of that cat. Meanwhile, the little cat crossing the road has gone, is that your mummy? Those two incidents combined, you've killed little Jennifer, to give her full name.
No, just either that or it was a hit aimed for you, and the description given was, looks a bit like a cat.
Did you pick the cat up and take it to the neighbours, or did you just point to the cat and say, that's where your cat is?
I didn't pick it up.
What happened when they answered the door? Talk us through that conversation, because that must have been very awkward.
Had you still, at this point, not remembered that your face was painted like
No,
that?
I didn't realise until after I told them, and then I went home and went, oh, I just had to tell so-and-so.
So they've opened the door. Can you remember anything about the first few words of that conversation?
Well, it was very awkward. I've never had to do that before. So I said...
Meow!
They said hello in a sort of cheery, oh, maybe he's come round for some sort of jolly reason.
Well, no one gave them that impression.
And I said, I'm really sorry, but I'm afraid that I've just seen Jenny get run over.
And they said...
What?
What did they say then? Oh, sorry, you're acting.
They said what?
I thought you were asking me, sorry. I genuinely thought you didn't understand the question, but you were in character, sorry.
Yeah. If we get to a point where you're asking questions I don't understand, something has happened.
The regulars like that
one. And they said, thank you very much for telling us. And then I went back into my house, I live next door, and...
Did you go through the front door or back? When you realised you had your makeup on still at home?
My wife pointed out to me. I came home and I said, oh, this dreadful thing's just happened. And my wife said, you know that you've still got your face painted like a kitten? And I said, oh, no.
Did you and your wife look at each other in shock and just feel terrible, or did you both instantly start laughing?
She laughed immediately.
She's an awful woman, though.
No, you're not. Ignore the Irish man.
You're the best female truck driver in the world. You all right, Miles? You know what that is? Furballs.
So what are you thinking, Lee? Does this have the ring of truth for you?
Amelia, what do we think?
I think it's a total lie.
Do you? Not even an ounce of truth in this?
Not for me. It's going round to the neighbours, and you haven't really actually told us anything about the neighbours. You haven't talked about who it was who answered the door and how you then got to talk to them.
Oh, right, well, Paul answered the door.
Paul. And Paul is married too.
Paul is not married.
Oh, but you did say them. You told them that their cat had died.
Yeah, there are a number of ways in which people cohabit.
I don't believe it.
You don't believe
I
it?
don't believe it.
You don't believe it?
Are we going to say
Say
lie?
lie.
Says lie.
OK. Miles, truth or lie?
Oh, ye of little... It's a lie.
Yes, it's a lie. Miles didn't have to tell his neighbour their cat had been run over while his face was painted like a kitten. So please welcome this week's special guest, Ian. So, Carol, what is Ian to you?
Well, this is Ian, and to frighten a teacher, we once hid a ram inside a classroom cupboard.
Lee, how do you know Ian?
This is Ian. He is the supermarket delivery driver who accidentally trapped me in the back of his van and drove me to his next drop-off point.
And finally, David, what's your relationship with Ian?
This is Ian. He is a skydiver who got blown off course and almost knocked me off my bike.
Right, there we have it. Carol's sheep prankster, Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver. David Mitchell and team, where are you going to begin?
Right, well, Carol, let's start with the ram in the cupboard.
Oh, the old Dave Mitchell chat-up line.
Yeah. Why did you put a ram in a cupboard?
Well, Ian and I went to school together in the Highlands, and often you would see the sheep and the rams just, you know, meandering into the school grounds.
Yeah.
And this particular day, one came in.
So the ram wanders into the school grounds?
Yes.
And you think, oh, that's fine, it'll be quite docile, I dare say it'll agree to get into a cupboard.
Well, what happened was the teacher was late. He was quite often late, and we were in a wee porta cabin out the back.
Are you saying
of
the teacher was a drinker?
No.
Okay.
But anyway, he was late, so we thought it'd be quite funny, because he was late, just to put this ram in his cupboard so that when he came in, the ram would be mad and come rampaging out.
Does Ian look like the kind of man that would grab a ram and drag it into a cupboard?
Yeah, he does.
For a laugh. He does. He looks like a kind of a devil. And I think Carol, being attractive and beautiful, would have done that whole, oh, let's just put a ram in the cupboard. And Ian would be like, yeah, I'll show you how to put a ram in the cupboard.
So when the teacher eventually arrived, how long was it before he went to his cupboard for a little look at his possessions? And what happened?
It would have been about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
And, of course, we were all sniggering in the
Sniggering.
class. He opened the door.
Opened the
This
door.
angry ram came rampaging right out at him.
Is that where the word rampaging comes from?
Well, that's when you're trying to contact a ram in the 1980s. Who would you like to quiz next?
David, could you describe how Ian, was it nearly hit you?
Yeah, skydiving. I mean, this goes back to '92, and my family have always been involved in the Scouts of Ireland, and so the big jamboree was in Wicklow, which is just outside of Dublin, and I was on a tandem bicycle with my aunt, who's one of the heads of Scouting Ireland, and we were heading towards the jamboree, and they were launching a comic book character to remind kids not to start fires in forests. And he was called Fire Dog, and his catchphrase was, don't start a fire, woof. And for the launch, they decided in the jamboree they were going to parachute Fire Dog into the middle of the jamboree, and we were on the tandem heading towards it with our little Scouty ties on.
Can I just check? Fire Dog, he says, don't start a fire, woof. Is it don't start a fire, woof, or don't start a fire, woof? Which one is it? I want to know. I'm trying to genuinely want to which is the campaign.
It's quite easy think this is actually quite easily solved immediately with a demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
Because my understanding of skydivers is they have a really good core muscle. So essentially, if we do that bit from Dirty Dancing... where
You
lift
actually
me
didn't
up-
get any taller when you stood up. That was the oddest thing I've ever seen. I've never seen anyone stand up and remain the same height. Yeah. That was shocking.
If I just run towards you, like and you just lift me up, like the end, then you'll be a skydiver. And if you don't do it, I'll be really hurt and you're dead. So...
Likewise, in a minute, I'm going to ask you to shut me in the back of a van.
I was just going to say...
So what are you planning to do?
I'm seeing whether or not he looks frightened by the prospect of me running towards him, and he's got to lift me
He
up.
does look a bit frightened, yeah.
Also, Rob also looks frightened.
What if the end of my story is that, and then he whacked against a wall, his legs shot off, and he had to have legs made of glass?
Is that the end of your story? No, we're back to plan A. Run at it. How far away from the jamboree were you at the point of impact?
Well,
or sorry, near impact.
He had just missed the landing area by a few fathoms, and
sorry, it was an aqua jamboree.
We swerved, we avoided him. He went into a hedge, and we pulled him out. I was 14 or 15 at the time, and my aunt and Ian got talking, and that is why it's nice to have my Uncle Ian on the show.
Oh, that is...
Oh, no, that's
that was a hell of a landing.
That is a bombshell.
Yeah. Your aunt met her husband when he nearly hit her dressed as a dog. Right, what about Lee? So, Lee, how did you accidentally get shut in his van? What happened?
As you will know, that when the man who comes from the supermarket delivers your food, he delivers them in, like, a plastic box.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? So he leaves the box and he goes into the kitchen and he drops off the food. And what I decided to do is that I'll help, right? He brings the last box. I said, is that it? He said, yes, this is your last lot. Puts the thing, gets the bags, goes into the kitchen. Mr. Nice here picks the nice plastic things up and takes them to his van.
Oh, God.
So I go into the...
It's so close.
It's like, this is like the start. This is like the start of an episode of Casualty, isn't it? So I go in, and as I put them in, I look to my left, and something catches my attention.
A lamppost.
No.
And it's snowing.
No.
And there's a fawn.
No. A little thing catches my eyes. Believe it or not,
someone has locked a ram in the back of the van.
It was, believe it or not, the thing that caught my eye...
I don't believe it, by the way.
...was a slightly ripped box of Cocoa Pops. And I thought, just for a minute, I thought, as Ian just had a little bit of a... like I would do, I'll have a little snack en route. So I just walk over to it. Now, as I walk over to it, it's only a couple of steps, I'm now hidden behind a box
Oh, you are kidding me.
food.
That's
You know, the boxes of food
just-
they haven't yet been delivered. And at that moment, I hear the noise of the doors shutting and the little handle turning.
So why didn't you call out?
I did.
What, and he didn't hear you?
No.
What, over the noise of a van engine?
No,
It's
not
very
just a van,
loud.
the noise of Howard Jones on Magic FM. It was blasting.
Why didn't you...
try? Yeah, I'm going, help!
Why
And
didn't
he's
you
going,
bang
"What
on the
is
panel?"
up anyway? Oh! Anybody, anyway.
What was the next...
What was the...
I mean, it might not be true, but God, it was dramatic.
So we do need an answer. Is Ian Carol's sheep prankster, Lee's accidental abductor, or David's diverted skydiver?
The key thing is I don't want to be fooled by David O'Doherty. That's the key. Look at him. Look at that.
Do you remember, you know, in the brownies, you had the brownie promise and all of that. So do you remember anything from your scouting days, your promise or anything?
It's different in Ireland. The Scouts don't have anything that you would possibly remember.
No promises, no value system, other than if you see a dog go into a hedge, you marry it.
I would say Carol.
I think it's
You say
David.
Carol?
I think it's David.
You say Carol, you say David. I think it's David.
So you're
So we're
going
gonna go
therefore with David.
We're going
okay.
with David.
Ian, would you please reveal your true identity?
My name is Ian. Carol and I frightened the teacher by hiding a ram in the classroom cupboard.
Yes, Ian is Carol's sheep prankster. Thank you very much, Ian. So please welcome this week's special guest, Keith. Bob, first of all. Bob, what is Keith to you?
This is Keith. He's my oldest friend, and when we were at school together, we hid a dictaphone in the classroom ceiling to confuse our teacher.
David Harewood?
This is my old teacher, Keith. I once had to claim I wasn't me when I met him in a cafe, as I was in character preparing for Homeland.
And finally, Lee, your relationship with Keith.
This is Keith, and his hawk... Yes. Yes, I'll admit, David, it's a difficult start. But go with it. Yeah. This is Keith, and his hawk was supposed to land on my arm at a village fete, but instead stole the wig from the man next to me and flew off into a tree.
So there we are. It's Bob's classroom prankster, it's David's blanked buddy, or it's Lee's hawk handler. David's team, where do you start?
So, yes, David, he was a teacher at your school?
Very briefly.
What, a whole lesson?
I mean, I don't know if... I mean, I would see him.
You'd see, but he didn't teach you?
No, not teach me.
He was someone who hung around a school, and he was... charitably, you assumed he was a teacher.
But if he was at the school a short period of time, how did you even recognise him in the cafe?
Oh, I knew it was him. He walked into the cafe and he said, "Hi, David," and basically I blanked him. It was literally the month before I went to America when I was doing Homeland, and I'd just been to see my dialect coach. He basically said I have to stay in my American voice. So...
Could you not have explained that to him in your American voice? I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm doing a roll here.
I don't think it was ever as good as that, John, to be fair.
I basically just had to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, I'm remembering you now. Do the voice a bit more straight.
I said, I don't know what you're talking about.
Ooh, that did weird things to me.
So your dialect coach said, you're in this role, you need to stay in this character.
Yeah.
Now the lesson's over, let's go to a very public place.
Yeah.
We are likely to encounter several people.
Well, that's what you have to do. You have to stay in that voice. You have to have the confidence to stay in your voice.
Why can't you just, like, turn it on like an actor?
Oh, that's a cheap shot, Sarah.
I have to say, I did phone him up afterwards and apologise.
So you had his number?
You stayed in touch with the teacher you barely remember.
Would it be fair to say the hawk's looking a bit more plausible?
So, David, who would you like to question next?
Bob, remind us of your allegation.
When we were at school together, we hid a dictaphone machine in the ceiling tiles to interrupt the lesson.
So not to record, but to play stuff?
Yeah.
What sort of stuff?
Well, it was important to keep a gap at the beginning, so we let it run for about 15 minutes. And then there was the noise of a fly. For a brief period, then another period, to confuse the teacher.
Where would you get the noise from the fly? You'd make the noise.
We'd make the noise ourselves,
Let's
I'm
hear
not
your
paying
fly
for no
noise.
fly to do it.
Let's hear your fly.
You know,
It does sound like a fly.
Can I hear your bee?
We didn't do a bee.
Do you know how to do a bee? Just like that fly.
Oh, no, it's more wholesome if it's a bee, isn't it?
Show me the difference, David.
Well, I don't know, I'm not...
Do
well,
it.
I'd say, OK, a bee would be a sort of a foot...
No, that's a bumblebee.
A fly is a...
Very good. That's good. Very good. Do you see the way he just slipped straight in and out of character?
So yes, there was silence.
Yeah.
Then a little bit of fly, silence, a little bit of fly, and then quite loudly, but not to frighten anyone, the word wolf. More silence. Then Speedway Stadium. Like that.
Speedway Stadium.
Do you know, the idea was just to say kind of random things. He was a really nice teacher called Bill Whitlingham.
How did Bill Whitlingham react to these random sounds?
Well, Mr. Whitlingham left the room and said, "Can you sort this out by the time I've gone back?" Can you sort whatever it is that's going on? And there was a cupboard in the corner where, interestingly, it had like exercise books in it, pens and that, but it also had, in a little cage, a hand lion, which is a robotic, it's a battery-operated thing.
What? Are you just saying any words that come into your head? In any order?
It's a hand lion, and if you
hand lion?
It's a robotic, animatronic hand lion, yeah? And if you'd been particularly good, he would put it on your hand and set it to lick it. If you'd been particularly...
Was this like a clockwork lion?
No, it was remote control.
It was remote control?
Remote control. He had the controller in his desk, and he said,
But the actual hand lion...
Get out the hand lion, and you'll get a lick. And if you'd been bad, you put him on your hand and you strike. You'd strike at your hand.
So the hand lion had two settings. It could lick or it could strike.
Yes, good boy, bad boy.
Right, very
good
sensible.
boy, bad boy. Now, the only problem with it, of course, was...
What, this story?
The only problem was, of course, if the batteries got low, it would get constipated. No, anyway, but in this cupboard, so we got up on the cupboard.
You climb onto the cupboard that the hand lion is housed in.
Probably asleep.
Right, you reach up onto the ceiling tile.
Take out the dictaphone.
Switch it off.
Yep.
Mr. Whitlingham comes back in.
Yes.
What happens?
He's nervously awaiting another, edict from above.
Yeah.
Doesn't come, we carry on with the lesson. British government and politics it was.
There was a lesson called British Government and Politics?
Yeah.
Whole year on that?
2 years, it was A-level.
For the sixth formers...
Yes.
A hand lion... that can either lick or strike was what was used to express praise or the opposite to these 17 or 18-year-old students.
And it was very effective.
All right. Would you like to move on to the final claim? So, Lee, tell the story about Keith.
I was at a village fete, and...
Why were you at a village fete?
I was helping out.
What village?
Thames Ditton.
Why were you helping out at Thames Ditton Fete?
Because I don't live too far away from there, and they asked me to help out, and I did a few little things, like I did a bit of tombola, a bit of announcing. Then I went over to judge the pig racing. The usual things you do at a fete, you know.
The pig racing?
Yeah. I don't know why I judged it, because surely first past the post, but...
Well, no,
I was doing a case of a dead heat.
And what happened with the hawk and Keith and the wig?
One of the things I had to do was to volunteer to stand there and learn. He had the little headpiece on where he'd teach the crowd basic falconry, I believe we call it. I'd stick the glove on and then hold this little thing. I don't know what it was, but I'm doing this.
A small morsel of meat.
Thank God you've been to one, because I haven't.
Yeah.
I'm holding a small morsel of meat. Then what happens? And then...
then the swan comes down.
The swan came down. So the hawk comes over, right? It comes over. There's a person missing from this story, and it's the mayor, right? The local mayor. I can't say it in I always struggle.
Mayor.
The mayor, right?
So you're standing next to a horse.
Yeah, so the local... So the mayor is doing his bit, but the mayor has got a wig on, right? The hawk flies over to go and land on my hand, but he lands on the mayor's head, and so he gets caught up in his what should we call them? Talons. He gets caught up in the talons, and then in the sort of panic, the bird sort of... And he can't release this wig, and he flies off, and he goes into the tree. I said, why didn't he go for the meat? And he said, I genuinely think the gold chain caught his eye. There was a bit of confusion for a second, and he just did a bit of an emergency landing on a mare's wig at Thames Ditton Fete. What's there not to believe?
At that point, did you cry, oh no, the mare's hers over there?
All right, so David's team is Keith, Bob's classroom prankster, David's blanked buddy, or Lee's hawk handler.
I was believing Bob until the fact that he was 18 and the hand lion. I'm leaning towards David.
I think I'm leaning towards David.
I think it's Bob, and I think he panicked because he knew we were onto him, so he went on a ridiculous riff about a hand line to throw us off the scent. I'll go Bob, but I've been wrong before.
Sarah?
I'm gonna go David.
We'll go David.
You're saying David? Keith, please reveal your true identity.
My name's Keith, and Bob and I recorded voices and hid the dictaphone in the ceiling.
Yes. Keith is Bob's classroom prankster.
I would never have believed all that stuff about a hand line was completely true.
Thanks very much, Keith.
Thank you.
I was ticked off by the headmaster after I mistakenly packed a pina colada in my daughter's lunchbox for a school trip.
Whoa.
Wow. Oh, what did you think it was?
What did you think it was?
Well, they have these lovely, really lovely, like frozen packs for the freezer, and you just take them out and squeeze them out. It's like a little frozen, but they really look juicy. I thought it was just a little juice.
Are you thinking of fruit shoots and things like that?
No. I'll tell you the name. Do you want to know the brand name of it?
Yes, I do.
Capri Sun.
Oh, the fruit drink in a pouch?
Delicious.
Love them. So why did you think that it was anything else? Because you were the one that bought it.
Yeah, because I just buy lots of stuff for the fridge. I just grabbed it because I'm not with it in the morning because I've been having pina coladas the night before.
What did the person at school? Did you get a telephone call or were you invited in?
Oh, I was invited in on this occasion.
What did they say?
Hello, your daughter's drunk.
Yeah.
No.
She has 6 year-olds wasted again.
She didn't drink it. She knew right away what it was. It wasn't for her.
Did she report you?
Yeah.
Oh, she's a grass.
She's such a grass. She tells people, my mummy hides wine in the walls. But
In
that's
the walls?
a wine rack.
Oh, I see.
But they have a problem with me anyway.
Why?
Why?
They've met
Well, yeah, they've met me. That's number one. I do the school run in a bathrobe.
No.
Oh.
What?
One of those. Really?
You go to school in a bathrobe?
Yes, because...
What have you got under the bathrobe?
None of your business.
So, talk us through now. You've gone into the school. They've called you in to the headmaster or headmistress's office. What happens?
And they just said, I suppose you thought you were being funny. And I said, I'm sorry, what was funny? And they said, you know what you thought was funny. And I said, no, I really don't know.
They spoke to you like that, a parent?
Yeah. You should see my fresh look. They think I'm 16. That's the other problem.
Who does?
The faculty.
How sympathetic was this lighting? Was it sort of...
Don't you find that...
We've been doing this show 11 years. That's the most catty thing that's ever been done.
So, Catherine, he says to you, what do you think you were doing? What happened then?
He had the pina colada in his desk drawer and said it's not funny to send your daughter on a school trip with alcohol.
Wow.
What do you think, truth or lie?
I could see her doing it.
Yes.
I really could see you doing it, Catherine.
Thanks.
But I think it's a lie.
So basically, you don't think this particular incident is true, but she possibly is an alcoholic.
I think it's most certainly a lie.
OK, well, my team seems to think it's a lie, so we'll say lie.
OK, Catherine, truth or lie?
Nah, it is a lie.
Oh.
Yes, it's a lie. Catherine didn't put a pina colada in her daughter's lunchbox.
At school, I invented a game called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room.
There we are. Lee's team, what do you think?
What was the game called again?
It was called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room.
Right, and can you describe the game to us?
Myself and several friends, we all had Snorkel Parkers.
What is a Snorkel Parker for some of the younger viewers?
It's a large hooded coat with a fur-lined
Oh,
collar.
the one that comes out at the front.
Yeah,
and it's fur.
and you can zip it up so that it comes right up, and so that only your eyes are visible.
Can you describe the rules? Imagine we've never met, I've got my Snorkel Parker. What would happen next?
Well, then you and I, Lee, will go to the music practice room when...
I'm not falling for this again.
And you zip up your Snorkel Parker, and then you when someone's practicing their violin with a violin teacher in the music practice room, you duck down below the window, and then you just come up with your Snorkel Parker on.
So just imagine you're a historical reenactment society. You've got your members there.
I suppose.
How would you?
I'd have to fully demonstrate it by using my making an ad.
Feel free to ask Richard and David to help you out on this.
Will you help me out with this?
Well, I mean, you see, this is one of the moments where I don't like having to. All right.
Want to do it?
Yeah, all right. Below our desk. Yeah. All right.
So if you imagine that this was the music practice room and there was someone in there having a lunchtime violin lesson, you would wait until they were in mid-tutorial. And
right,
then,
I'm picturing it, yeah.
And then together, after 3.
Okay, yeah.
1, 2, 3.
Oh.
That's it, really.
Was the secret to getting the fact that they never knew who you were? Because you were
They wouldn't know who you were because it's only your eyes showing. And he would tell you to go away, so you would all duck down away, and then you'd leave it for a minute.
And then come back
and then you'd just come back up again, yeah.
What age were you?
Maybe...
Please tell me you weren't one of the teachers.
No, maybe 13, 14.
Right the way through to when you left?
Right through till sixth form, yeah.
You never got told to stop this, or you got...
Yeah, well, they would bang on the window and be really furious with us.
For 5 years, they were banging on the window. They never once thought to come out and say, lads, it's getting really boring.
But you see...
I know you are, Greg, because you're 8'6".
But just out of interest, by show of hands, who would like to play Snorkel Parker music practice room?
I'm quite keen on the game.
I've already played it. I didn't really enjoy it.
It sounds ridiculous. I mean, the last time...
It does sound utterly ridiculous, Greg. It's almost as if you're lying.
Do you think he is lying, Lee? What are you going to say on this one?
Well, I actually believe him. I could just see you doing that for kicks and giggles.
Bob, which way are you leaning with this?
Well, it's got the anticipation, it's got the jeopardy, it's got the lot.
Yeah.
What a game!
Greg, something tells me you're going to get a phone call from Waddington's.
If this gets picked up, this is... Just because I've talked about it now, it's mine, right?
It's only yours if you really played it. If it's a lie, then you haven't copyrighted
it. Well, if it is a lie and I've just read it off this thing, whose idea is it?
Well, the person who wrote the lie.
I'd like to maintain the rights to Balaclava Sports Hall. if anyone's interested.
Right, Lee, it's time to take a guess. What are you going to say?
We're going for true.
You're saying it's true. OK. Greg, were you telling the truth? Or were you telling the truth?
Well, right, because that would make me utterly pathetic, wouldn't it? Yes, I was telling the truth.
Yes, it's true. Greg did invent a game called Snorkel Parker Music Practice Room. At school, Greg was very popular with the other pupils. Not surprising, really, considering they'd created him in a science lesson. So please welcome this week's special guest, Molly. Welcome, Molly. So, first of all, Deborah, perhaps you could tell us how you know Molly.
Well, this is Molly. She came into Dragon's Den. She was so nervous that she left after 20 minutes without saying a single word.
Right, OK. Mark, what is Molly to you?
This is my friend Molly. She starred in a murder mystery play which I wrote and directed at school.
All right, and Lee, what about you?
This is Molly. She's teaching me to ice skate because I'm going to be a best man at a wedding on ice.
There we have it. David, over to you.
Right. Well, Deborah, what was Molly coming into... What was her business?
It was sort of eye shades for... Well, sunglasses for dogs, in summary. And she brought the dog in, and it took 10 minutes to settle the dog down, and then I think maybe Molly got a bit nervous and...
So she came up with the dog. The dog's not wearing the sunglasses.
I'm simplifying it. It wasn't just sunglasses. They were kind of shades for the... They were slatted, shady things for the
So
eyes.
the dog was wearing Venetian blinds.
Venetian blinds.
So they can go like that, so that you can turn a handle and blind the dog.
And did she get any money at all?
She didn't say a word.
So...
She didn't say a word. She went straight back downstairs, well, after 20 minutes.
And you've kept in contact ever since?
Not at all, but we did meet afterwards because she was so nervous and she just felt she'd failed her.
Well, I mean, she's right. She had, hadn't she? She'd come up with a daft idea and then totally failed to express it.
What sort of a dog?
You'd be a very good dragon, David.
What sort of a dog was it?
Labrador Retriever.
Labrador, that's great. The idea of a Labrador with dark glasses on. Some other blind leading the blinds.
So, Mark, was Molly at school with you?
Yes, she was. Yeah.
She was and so you wrote the school play, which was vaguely about a murder, and you cast her in it.
I both wrote and cast the play, yeah.
And so what was the plot of the...
Well, I think it was probably a lot of nonsense, but there was Molly...
We'll be the judge of that.
Molly played, I think, the wife of a rich man who was murdered, and it was all a bit silly, you know, the way school plays are. It's a while ago, so I can't remember.
I love the fact that you remember every single detail of a game of Connect 4 when you were 6, but 10 years later...
Yeah. Theatre comes and goes, but Connect 4 stays with you.
What was it called? Do you remember the title?
The title of the play.
Of the play?
No,
Yes.
Any title. Just have any title. Work your way from titles of things you know
I think
that'll give you time to make up the title of this play.
All right, it was called Arsenic and Old Mice, which was a play on the play Arsenic and Old Lace.
Lee, where are you learning to ice skate? Tell me.
I'm learning to ice skate at Alexandra Palace.
Right. And how far have you got with it?
Well, I actually...
I mean, can you stand on one leg and do all that stuff, yes?
Oh, yeah, but not on the ice rink.
No.
Alexandra Palace?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, is that the nearest ice rink to where you live?
It's not... I don't know if it's the nearest one, but it's the one where...
Well, I'll tell you, no, it isn't.
OK, it isn't. But when my friend, who said we're having this ice skating-themed wedding and we're all training every week for the little moves, I didn't say, is there any chance you come to me? Because the day's all about me. My friends are into ice skating. So
really?
Yeah.
Oh, what an appropriate theme for their wedding.
They're actually going to do a routine, the man and wife.
Right.
They're doing a routine on the ice, because they're ice
Fully
skating.
clothed, I hope.
Fully clothed, oh,
right,
yes.
Fine.
Yeah, I don't know which films you watch, Bernard, but naked ice skating isn't really big. So they're going to board it off, so you have an aisle of ice.
Aisle remaining of ice. The rest of the ice is sort of carpeted with seats on it.
I don't know. I'm not, you're mixing me up with admin.
OK.
So, and what's your role in the
it's
wedding?
Like this, I sort of tumble and then go like that.
So are you best man? Are you presenting the rate? Well,
I am that very man, yes. I'm the best man.
So what do you have to do? What's skating? What skating do you have to do? They've done their routine.
Right,
and then
OK.
You're
listen,
skating.
Just to be absolutely clear...
OK, so the vicar comes first.
Patrick, you're a guest. Just listen to me. And basically, they're going to do a big routine, and the bridesmaids are going to be part of the big routine. Then the idiots like me that can't do much, we're just going to skate off on at the end like that. I'm just talking to the members of the family as I'm walking home.
How many lessons are you
I
having?
haven't finished the routine yet.
Sorry.
And then I get to the end like that. I've got the ring. I do one quick, I don't know what they call it, axel, down on the knee, present to groom. Like this. And then the groom, don't patronise me. And then everything's just themed, and it's going to be beautiful.
And then where's the reception happening?
That's happening at the ski slope in... the reception's at Alexandra Palace as well.
Right, we need an answer. So, David's team. Is Molly Mark's leading lady, Deborah's shy entrepreneur, or Lee's ice skating teacher? David.
Well, I think we're agreed that Lee's story is...
The truth, and that's the end of the round.
Too plausible. I think Mark would remember more about this play.
I think he's been very vague about this play on purpose.
Flannelling like
Oh,
mad.
you think you think it's true, but he's been deliberately vague?
Yeah, I think so. Does this woman look like someone that puts Venetian blinds on dogs?
Does any woman look like that, to be fair?
What do you think?
Deborah.
You think Deborah?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think that? You think Mark?
I think it's Mark.
Well, I think it's Deborah.
Do you know what? I'm starting to feel like the ugly one on Blind Date.
Well, I think I agree with Bernard. I think it's Deborah's former Dragon's Den contestant.
OK.
Yes.
Molly, would you please reveal your true identity?
I starred as the wife of Sir Leonard Onions in Mark's play Arsenic and Old Mice at school when he was my house captain.
Yes, Molly starred in a murder mystery that Mark wrote and directed while at school. What sort of a director was he, Molly?
Masterful.
Really?
Yes, really.
That's the end of the round.
Molly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
For my first term at university, I rented the bathroom in a student house and slept in the bathtub every night.
Lee?
Greg?
Yes?
Before we even start this, can you stand up?
There'll be no... Unless David stands up with me, there'll be no perspective.
David? In fact, let's have proper perspective. Connie, can you stand up? You know the question.
Yeah.
What's the answer?
Well, I just hung off the end of the bath, as I hang off every single bed that I've ever slept in.
No. You definitely don't hang off a bath like you hang off a bed. Because a bed go like that and then you hang off.
Yeah.
You'd have to go up and cross and hang off. You're tall, but you're not a snake, Greg.
The thing what actually drove me to change my circumstances was that I was bruising the side of my cheek regularly by waking up in the morning and clanging into one of the taps.
Can I ask why on earth you would sleep with your head at the tap end? That is mad.
Yes, well, you know, I was 18 years of age and I mainly lived off Thunderbird wine, so bad decisions were my forte at that period.
So did you have a bed in the house? Did you? Oh, so that was the reason you was in the bath.
There was a.
Well, why did you think he was in the bath?
I chose to, Phil. Yeah.
How many other people were there in the flat?
3.
3 people. What? 3 beds?
Yep.
Why would you not sleep on the floor next to the bath?
We had a giant 1970s sofa that had a peculiar corner unit, and I took both cushions from that corner unit and they fitted in the bath perfectly, and it was incredibly comfortable.
So hang on, it wasn't a freestanding bath?
A roll top?
Yeah, was it a roll top freestanding bath?
It wasn't a freestanding bath, but the end of the bath projected out into the room.
Where was this, Greg? Which town were you? Was this Oxford or Cambridge?
It was in Isleworth in West London. It was only because of a mix-up in housing agreements. We soon sorted out after a term. I only had to do it for a term.
What was the mix-up?
I'd agreed to move in with these 3 guys and we got the wrong size house.
Hang on, that's not a mix-up, that's just stupidity. There was 4 of you got a 3-bedroom house. Been a bit of a mix-up,
The boys blamed me, which is why I got the bath.
Why did they blame you?
Because I was the one who booked the house.
How did you get into university?
So, Lee, what are you thinking?
Marcus?
I think it's too preposterous to be true.
The taps for me. You don't. If you're going to sleep in a bath, you don't put your head up the tap end.
I think it might be true, but I'm not going to over...
Oh, well, you're the skip. You've got the armband, son.
I might be the skip.
Do you get armbands if you're a captain?
Only if you can't swim.
I'm telling you, I don't know if this is in the spirit of this game, this is true.
That was sufficiently moving. I'm going with it. I'm saying it's true now.
What are you saying, Skippy?
Should we say true?
True.
Not Skippy, Rob, not Skippy. That's no good. I'm not going to go and go and fetch help. I'm the skip, right?
Someone's fallen into a mine shaft.
We're going to go for true.
Go on, mate.
True. Change it to true. We're going for true.
You're saying it's true. Greg Davis, were you telling us the truth or were you telling a lie?
Do you feel, David, any sense of genuine competition in this game?
Yes, I do, yeah.
Then I think you're going to like me very much. It was a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Greg didn't sleep in his bathtub every night for his first term at university.
At school, I was given the nickname The Charmer because I was the only one who could console the school snake whenever it got agitated.
David and T.
So, what type of snake was the school snake?
It was... do you know what? I genuinely can't remember what type of snake it was. I could describe it.
Go on.
Go on.
Legless. It was about so big.
What was it called?
It was called, I think it was called Sammy.
You remember its name but not its species?
Well, I'm like that with women. Grass snake rings a bell, I think.
Why did your school go for a snake as opposed to, like, a mouse or some such?
Oh, it had a mouse as well, but it was in there with the snake.
What was in the tank other than the snake?
It was open plan. There was an area in the corner where he used to sleep. We used to call it the bedding area.
What was there?
What was there?
What was there? Never mind what he used to do.
It's like an ordinary bed, but it's just a lot longer. A lot longer and a lot thinner. very long and thin. Extremely hard to tuck in at night. They're all there. By the time you'd done one side and gone round the other side, this side had come up again. You'd be there forever. It was
very long, thin.
Very long, thin
mattress.
bed. Very long, thin mattress.
This wasn't one of those snakes that likes to sleep curled up.
No.
It likes to stretch out.
Right out like that.
Why did a snake need charming? Was it a particularly aggressive snake, or...?
It used to do this little thing where it used to raise its head up and sort of shake its head like that, left to right.
Yeah.
And I said to the teacher, what's that? What's he doing that for?
Oh, so you were taught in the same room as the snake?
Well, no, we went to different lessons, but in one of the classrooms...
This was during snake studies?
Well, that's what the PE teacher called it. So I said, as well as the other kids, we were saying, what does it do that for? And the teacher said, that is a sign that the snake is getting agitated. And I said, I bet I can stop that. And I lifted off the thing, and I just went like that, and I stroked the back of its head as a joke, and it stopped.
So you can't demonstrate it on a snake?
No, I can't.
But Matt is there. I mean, what if Matt were to be a little agitated? I wonder if employing the same methods you could calm Matt?
Well,
Matt, could you be a little agitated?
If you could be a snake, now, if you could sort of put your head down here, yeah, put your head further down. Put your head here, because the head starts off down, right? Now, get into character.
At a certain angle, this looks really dodgy.
It's like I'm just about to go bowling. So you're looking down, right, and you're the snake. Now, suddenly, you're a snake, you're agitated. Oh, my God! That's an agitated snake. Yeah. You're all worried, aren't you? Don't worry, I'll sort this out. Now, I'm going to use my hand, because in proportion to the head, that's a finger. Yeah? Then I stroke the back of the head like this. And watch him. Watch the snake calm.
Oh, nice.
Go down.
So what do you think, then, David? Lee claims that his teacher called him the Charmer.
Yeah.
And that's a nickname that stayed with him. I'd have got murdered at my school if my teacher would have said, you're the Charmer. That's it.
There's so much of that I've got a problem with. That thing,
I think
there was a grass snake.
Time for a decision right now.
I think we think it's a lie.
You think it's a lie?
Lie.
Ali, the snake charmer, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
Well, actually, it was a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Lee wasn't nicknamed the Charmer at school because he was the only one who could calm the school snake.
I used to try and scare school friends by planting a particular drawing in their pockets signifying death.
Lee, what do you think?
What was the drawing?
It was an owl.
The Owl of Death.
Its full title was actually the Hoot Owl Death Sign.
Owl. What do you mean, the Owl of Death? What was it doing in this drawing?
Hoot Owl Death Sign?
That old chestnut.
I could draw it for you if you like.
Greg?
Yeah?
I've got a pen, I've got some paper.
I'll come over there.
No, I'll come to you. Don't stand up next to me, it just highlights it.
Can you, Greg, can you...
So please, draw the Owl of Death.
So...
Don't look at it, David, you'll die.
Oh my God!
Oh, my God,
Oh, please put it away.
So just imagine you're innocently, you went in your pocket, innocently minding your own business. You go, oh, what's this in my...
Oh, no, it's the Owl of Death!
Your
friends would find that in their pocket and be...
Not my friends, my deadly enemies.
Right.
What would be the purpose of that?
It was for people who had crossed my friend and I.
Well, what kind of things would they have to do to cross you?
There was an English teacher who we found a bit boring, so he slipped one in his pocket. That was the highlight of the whole campaign, actually, was that the English teacher once stood up in front of the class and was chatting away and went into his pocket and went, oh. And he went, sorry, everyone. Does anyone know anything about this? Because I've just...
Was the purpose of it to scare them? Like, you would tell them that later on it was you? Or?
No, of course not. We were both nerdy cowards.
You created a sort of mythology around what might happen if you found the hoot owl of death in your pocket,
In our minds, anyone who found the hoot owl of death in their pocket would very shortly afterwards meet their demise.
Time to take a guess. What are you going to say?
What do we think, Phil? Do you think that is possible?
I think it's possible, but I think it's a lie.
I think it's a lie.
OK,
You say lie, you say lie. What about you, Lee?
I say lie.
Right, Greg.
Yes.
Truth or lie?
Well, it would be pretty tragic if two boys had spent their youth doing that, wouldn't it?
True.
And it is indeed true.
Yes, it's true. Greg did try and scare school friends by planting a particular drawing in their pockets, signifying death.
Possession.
Right, box under the desk, Lee. I'd like you to read the card first and then show us what's in there, Lee.
I spent an entire year in a plastic work class at school, and this is the only thing I managed to make.
Plastic work? What is it?
What
is it?
I don't know. Can we have a look? Can you bring it up?
What is that, though?
Thank you. It's shit.
You bastard, and I treated your teddy bear with such respect.
What is it, though?
Ironically, it's a luggage tag.
Is it a luggage tag?
It's a keyring.
It's a keyring,
Oh, is it a keyring? What is it?
Are you a big sports fan, eh?
I do follow football.
Yeah, which team do you follow?
I follow Blackburn Rovers.
Blackburn Rovers? Blackburn doesn't begin with an L, does it? No, what was the LFC?
It was Liberace for Chancellor. It stands for Liverpool Football Club.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. Why did you
So-
make a Liverpool Football Club keyring in plastic work?
Because they didn't have blue and white plastic. Blackburn Rovers. They only had red plastic. So I thought, well, I'll give it the Liverpool Football Club because it's red.
Right.
When did you do it? What age were you when you did that? Was it at school, then?
No, it was in Broadmoor.
You say it took you a year?
No, a year.
I mean, I've never heard of plastic work.
I know. Well, the thing is, in 1982, plastic was the future.
I don't in any way disparage plastic. That's fine. I like plastic. Plastic's very useful. But a class at school
called plastic
doing
work.
for plastic work.
How did you cut it? What did you
not
use?
like that.
I don't think you're in any position to get all haughty about your plastic cutting technique if this is the only evidence we have.
I must say, I don't believe this, but I'd love to know what this object is, who made it and why. But I think we think it's a lie.
They think it's a lie. OK, they say it's a lie. Lee, is it a truth or is it a lie?
It is, in fact, true. Plastic work. That was a lesson that never caught on. Plastic work.
Plastic work.
Does anyone else do plastic work?
Did you get marked on that? Was that
Yes, I did get marked.
What was your grade?
I got a 2-1 and we went straight to Oxford. What do you think?
Yes, it's true. I don't know exactly what LFC stands for, but I'm guessing the first word is lazy. So please welcome this week's special guest, Simon. So, Mackenzie Crook, what is Simon to you?
This is Simon, and when I hoaxed my school by burying some treasure, Simon found it and the police were called.
OK, all right. Chris, how do you know Simon?
This is Simon. In a virtual world, we're married.
And finally, David Mitchell, your relationship with Simon.
This is Simon. He has a large tattoo of my face on his knee.
So there we have it. Is Simon Mackenzie's treasure hunter, Chris's cyber spouse, or David's tattooed fan? Lee's team, where would you like to start?
David.
Yes.
How do you know Simon?
I know him because when I was doing a book signing of a comedy book, he came and asked for the book to be signed and also asked me to sign my name underneath the tattoo of my face on his knee.
When you sign the face, is the face normal when the knee is stretched? Or is the face normal when it's not stretched?
Look, it's my face. It's not normal at all.
I need to ask you a question, but you've got to answer this honestly.
Yeah.
When
No,
the...
you don't.
That's the whole point of the game.
OK.
Otherwise we open with,
people
is it
from
true?
Would I Lie to You said, we're going to invite on that man who's got a tattoo of your face on his knee. Did you say, oh, good, I'd like to see him again?
I am, of course, thrilled to remake the acquaintance of yeah.
Simon! It's Simon!
Simon.
Yeah.
Simon.
So I did something, just to digress a little bit. I once got, this is true, backstage after a gig, a woman asked me to sign her bosom. And I went to sign with the pen that she gave me, and the pen didn't work. And without thinking, I went to the other breast and went... It was awful! Mackenzie, how old were you when you buried this treasure?
Maybe 13 or 14.
So
what
was
the treasure? Diamonds.
What? Whoa, how many
That's got everyone's attention.
Diamonds. Fake diamonds. It was a hoax. So it was,
how many fake diamonds?
Probably 6.
Where did you get all the 6 fake diamonds?
From my sister's jewellery box.
What? And then you rang up the police and hoaxed them into coming down to find some fake diamonds?
No, they were. I put them in a tin, and they were dredged in the school pond. So I knew if I placed it in the pond, it would be found.
And where did he fit into this?
Simon found the tin with the supposed diamonds and a letter that I'd faked.
What did it say on the letter?
It said something along the lines of, these are stolen, smuggled diamonds.
Whoa. So you're telling me that diamonds were found with a letter going, these are smuggled diamonds?
Yeah.
And someone went, we better phone the police, this is genuine. Was there a punishment involved?
Nobody ever found out it was me. The police came back and said that they'd analysed the diamonds and they weren't diamonds, and it was obviously a hoax.
So they caught Ronnie Biggs, but they couldn't get you.
Are you happy to move on now?
Yeah. Chris, you're married in a virtual world. Tell us a little bit more about how you met Simon.
Second Life is a virtual world that exists on the internet, secondlife.com, and I'm one of the players. There are various roles that you can play. You invent an avatar for yourself.
And you are?
My avatar is Audrey Hepburn.
Is what?
Audrey Hepburn.
So you're playing the woman in this relationship?
Yes.
Why have you got a second life as a woman?
Well, part of the whole thing is that you can be whatever you want to be, and as I say, a lot of people take it...
Don't start singing I Am What I Am.
I thought, well, I'll change my personality. I'll be Audrey Hepburn, as the Audrey Hepburn happens to be one of my real-life heroines.
Right. And
couldn't do Hepburn because someone had already done it.
And what is Simon's avatar?
He is Simon Bernstein Jr.
Right, and where did you meet him in this virtual world?
Well, when you go on there, you can go to places and then you meet people. They contact you.
A bit like real life, but for sad people.
So his name's Simon and his pretend name is Simon?
Yes, but his real name's Simon Morgan. Presumably, rather like Audrey Hepburn, he couldn't be Simon Morgan because someone had already done that. There were about 20 million people
No, but you're not Audrey Hepburn.
No, Hepburn.
Yeah, no, but you wanted to... Yes, but he is Simon Morgan, is what
it's like a psychiatrist couch. You are not Audrey Hepburn. I'm not going to tell you again. We went through this last week. You're not Audrey Hepburn. I still haven't establish where you met Simon Bernstein Jr.?
I met him at a cocktail party.
Yes?
I married him for his money. But I married...
I believe you, because when you said you married him for his money, do you see his face? He couldn't help it. He said that.
No, that was the ink on his knees drying.
Right, what are you going to say, Lee? Who do you think it is?
This is a tricky one for me. Victoria, who is he connected with?
If this was a poker game and I had to make a call, I'd say Mackenzie's the one who's not bluffing.
You're going by body language.
But that's interesting. What is it about his body that tells you he's not bluffing it?
But he has a sort of calm...
I know for a fact
readiness
he's under
to-
heavy medication. I don't know if that's...
Looking at it from a different way, Simon is far too geeky for tattoos on his knees, but the Avatar thing, I think, sounds just a bit too plausible. I think it's Mackenzie.
Well, listen, Victoria's a top poker player. She knows body language better than anybody.
So you're saying that it's definitely Mackenzie Crook? You're saying that it's the buried treasure?
Yeah.
OK. Simon, would you like to reveal your true identity?
My name is Simon, and when we were at school together, I discovered Mackenzie's buried treasure.
Everything that Mackenzie said was absolutely true. Simon found the treasure Mackenzie buried at his school. And actually, we can show you the letter. Have a look at this. In this tin, I have placed stolen... You don't mind me doing it with an accent, do you? In this tin, I have placed stolen diamonds.
Oh, you're going to do it with an accent?
I would never claim to have your range as an actor, David. Shall I do posh and repressed or repressed and posh? Well done. Now, thank you very much, Simon, for coming on. How about that?
There was a saying in my old school, if Lee Mack can pass his geography O-level, then anyone can.
It's eminently plausible, David, but is it true?
I mean, in what way did it constitute a saying? I mean,
Well,
I'm
it
sure
wasn't-
somebody could have said it.
Yeah,
but
it
does that
wasn't-
make it a saying?
I'll be honest, it wasn't on the coat of arms at the school. Apparently, it was said for a few years after I left.
What was it about your approach to geography that led your geography teacher to think you were pretty much the worst person at geography on earth?
Well, because we used to do mock O-levels the year before, and I failed it badly. So they said, you're going in the CSE class, which was for the kids who used to hit nails with hammers. And my mum went down to the school and said, he just failed it, and with that extra chance, he'll pass it. And they looked at her sad little crying eyes and that bag of coal on her back, and they said, Tommy Mac, they said, we'll give him that one chance.
Look, Lee, if this isn't being developed into a film, then you've been robbed.
What was the grade?
The grade that I passed with?
Yeah.
C.
So if you had stayed in
that is a grade.
Yes.
Yes.
Listen, this is important.
Right.
Yes.
I doubt that, but carry on.
No wonder you're single.
So...
Lie.
Lee. Lie, Lee?
What? No, that's the name of your Vietnamese bride.
Who even as I speak is at home right now banging against the inside door of the airing cupboard. I'll be home soon, my sweet. Lee, lie?
It is, in fact, true.
True.
I can't eat custard creams because they remind me of Spencer Whitfield, who bullied me at school.
David, what did Spencer Whitfield do to you?
He pinned me down with his mates and he force-fed me custard creams.
Why not just beat you up? Why did they want to feed you custard cream? Did you look thin?
The kind of lessons we had was, believe it or not, in secondary school, right, we'll go around the class and you've all got to tell us your favourite biscuit. One you like, one you hate.
And what subject was this?
It was home economics, and...
Did you do A-level home economics?
No, I didn't do A-levels, obviously. Look at me.
What do you think the effect of A-levels on the face are?
school you went to, if you were a boy, you couldn't do home economics, you would have been doing woodwork.
Yeah, no, I think you're mixing me up with the film Kes. Where it was a choice between kestrels and coal. I was allowed to choose home economics.
I wasn't. Why did you choose that subject above kestrels
Do you know
or
why?
coal?
Genuinely, I thought it was about money. I thought I'd learn how to use money in a sensible way. And I got in there, and it was full of the kids that wanted to do cooking and needlecraft.
Who were big bullies.
So, David, what are you going to say?
I don't think it's true, really, but...
No.
You're pretty
saying it's a
set
lie.
on it being a lie. OK, fair enough. Lee, is it true or is it a lie?
It's a lie.
One of my best friends at school was a little man I'd made from a slice of toast that I always kept in my bag.
OK.
Yes, true. Next question.
What was his name?
Tim.
Tim Toast.
In the toast man.
How did you make him?
I cut him. I actually
With
figured
scissors?
him myself.
Scissors or a
essentially-
knife?
Scissors.
Scissors. So you got a piece of toast, brown or white?
Good question.
Brown.
Brown toast. Was he buttered?
No, he wasn't buttered. That would be stupid, David.
I was thinking, maybe you make yourself a piece of toast, you butter it unthinkingly before you say, oh, no, that was the one I was going to cut out and make a friend out of. And now, unfortunately, I've buttered my friend, but then my friend will be more buttery, which is good. The fats in the butter would help preserve the friend from the mould, which will otherwise develop, which is going to be the central part of my next question. How long did Tim last before he rotted? And what did you feel when you saw Tim, who you'd created,
I stopped listening
rotting?
about 10 minutes ago. What are you asking me?
I'm asking what happened about the rotting of Tim.
I don't remember a rotting.
How old were you when you made Tim?
7 or 8.
And how old were you when you stopped being interested in Tim?
29.
And what did he do, Tim?
Did you never have an imaginary friend? He was just...
This wasn't an imaginary friend. This is a friend that just happens to be made out of a piece of toast.
Did you make him, you know, in your own image?
I do remember designing big legs because I wanted him to be a fast runner like what I was.
Where did Tim sleep?
In the toaster.
When did you take him to bed?
All right, then, David's team, I think you've heard enough.
What do you think, Gloria?
I think it's true. I'd be very happy to make a small piece of toast friend.
I think true. I don't know, so I'm happy to go with true, yes.
You're saying it's true?
I'm saying it's true.
OK, Miranda, is it true or is it a lie?
It is, in fact...
Well done. It was a lie all along. One of Miranda's best friends at school was not a little man that she'd made from a slice of toast.
Well, it makes sense now.
A little man who lives in a woman's handbag is both the plot of a charming children's story and grounds for committal to a psychiatric institution.